Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. So, I've got something really special to share with you today. A story I wrote myself, and I am genuinely so excited about this one. Here's the thing. What if Naruto Uzumaki wasn't just the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki? What if he carried something else entirely? The soul and memories of Upper Moon 3 himself? What if Naruto was AKAZA's reincarnation? I know, right? Just imagine it. The Hidden Leaf's most unpredictable ninja with the fighting instincts, the eternal determination, and the tragic past of one of Demon Slayer's most complex demons. How does that change everything? Here's what's cool. This isn't just about power-ups or random crossover chaos. I created this to explore what happens when Naruto's unwavering hope collides with AKAZA's centuries of loss and regret. When someone who never gives up on people carries the weight of someone who forgot what he was fighting for. Let me tell you, this story has action, emotion, redemption, and a whole lot of heart. So join me on this journey. Let's explore together what happens when two souls become one, and trust me, you won't want to miss where this goes. Let's dive in. The dream always started the same way. Rain. Cold, merciless rain hammering against skin that shouldn't feel anything anymore. Naruto, no, not Naruto, someone else, someone older, stood in the downpour, fists raised, body coiled like a spring ready to unleash devastation. Why am I here? Why does this feel so familiar? Two figures faced him through the curtain of water, one with red hair and a checkered haori, the other with black hair and empty eyes. Both held swords. Both radiated determination that burned like fire in in his gut. Upper Moon 3, the red-haired one said, voice cutting through the storm. AKAZA. That's my name? No, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, isn't it? The body moved without permission. Muscles remembered patterns carved into existence over centuries. A crouch, a pivot, knuckles whitening as power gathered in clenched fists. You're strong, the dream self said, and the voice was wrong. Deeper, harder, older than Naruto's 12 years should allow. Both of you, fight me, fight me. The words carried hunger, not for food, but for combat, for the clash of strength against strength, for the eternal test of who stood supreme. It was an addiction, a compulsion, a religion written in blood and bone. They charged. Time fractured into a kaleidoscope of violence. Fists met steel. Shockwaves rippled outward. The ground shattered beneath impacts that shouldn't be possible. Blood mixed with rain, but Naruto couldn't tell whose. His body moved through forms that his mind didn't recognize, but his muscles remembered. Punch, pivot, dodge, counter, again, again, again. This is beautiful. The thought terrified him even as exhilaration sang through his veins. The red-haired swordsman's blade came faster now, each strike carrying weight beyond mere physical force. Something about the patterns, the breathing, the absolute focus in those eyes, it stirred something deep in the dream self's chest. Something forgotten, something important. Your eyes, the swordsman said, close now, so close. They look sad. Sad? I'm not sad, I'm strong, I'm the strongest. I have to be the strongest because the blade pierced flesh. No pain, just surprise. The dream self looked down at the sword protruding from his chest, rain washing over the wound that should have been fatal. But this body had been beyond death for so long that mortality felt like a distant memory. Why? The swordsman asked, and there was compassion in his voice. Compassion for a monster. Why do you keep fighting? What are you searching for? I don't. The other swordsman, the one with empty eyes that somehow saw everything, moved. Another blade, another strike. This one aimed at the neck. And then, in that moment between the sword's arc and its destination, something broke. A name, a face. A girl with flowers in her hair and kindness in her smile. Koyuki. The name detonated in the dream self's mind like a bomb, shattering 200 years of accumulated rage and hunger and desperate, clawing need. Memories flooded back. A snowy dojo, a father's suicide, hands stained with blood, a promise broken, a love forgotten. What have I done? What have I done? The sword completed its arc. The dream self actually smiled, as his own hands reached up to grip the blade, pulling it deeper, helping it sever the connection between head and body. Thank you, he whispered, and meant it. Thank you for letting me remember who I was. My name was Hakuji. I was human once. I was human, and I threw it all away, and I killed so many people, and I forgot her. I forgot Koyuki. I forgot everything that mattered. And now, The world dissolved into snow and cherry blossoms, and 200 years of regret compressed into a single moment of crystal clear understanding. I wasted it. I wasted all of it. I died for nothing. I died alone. Naruto Uzumaki jolted awake with a scream trapped in his throat. His tiny apartment materialized around him in the pre-dawn darkness. Peeling wallpaper, water-stained ceiling, the smell of cup ramen and loneliness. Familiar, safe, real. But his hands were shaking. He stared at them in the half-light filtering through his window. 12-year-old hands. Small. Scarred from training accidents and childhood falls. Nothing like the hands in the dream. Those hands that had punched through steel and shattered stone and taken countless lives with casual brutality. Just a dream. It was just a dream. Except it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like a memory. Naruto swung his legs out of bed, feet hitting the cold floor. Sweat soaked through his orange pajamas. His heart hammered against his ribs like it was trying to escape. The academy graduation exam was in a week, and he'd been having these nightmares for the past month, getting worse, more vivid, more real with each passing night. Always the same fight, always the same name whispered in the rain. Koyuki. Who was she? Why did the name make his chest ache with grief? He had no right to feel. Naruto stumbled to his bathroom, splashing water on his face. The mirror reflected his familiar features back at him. Spiky blonde hair sticking up at odd angles, blue eyes still clouded with sleep, 3 whisker marks on each cheek, courtesy of the 9 tails sealed in his gut. Normal. He looked normal. But when he closed his eyes, he could still feel it. The rain, the fists, the desperate hunger for strength that had consumed someone named AKAZA for 200 years. It's not real. The demon fox is probably just messing with my head. Yeah, that's gotta be it. Except the fox's chakra felt different. This was something else, something older. Something that had nothing to do with the monster sealed inside him and everything to do with... Naruto gripped the sides of the sink, knuckles white. His body felt different lately. Lighter, more coordinated. Sometimes when he moved, his muscles shifted in ways they shouldn't know how to. Efficient, predatory, precise. Yesterday during training, he'd executed a spinning kick that had left Iruka-sensei staring in confusion because Naruto had never learned that kata. Had never even seen that kata. But his body knew it. The same way his body knew how to shift his weight before an attack, how to read an opponent's center of gravity at a glance, how to instinctively calculate the most efficient path to victory in a fight. I'm going crazy. I'm 12 years old, and I'm going crazy. The sun crept over Konoha's skyline, painting his bathroom in shades of orange and gold. Naruto forced himself to breathe, to center himself, to push the dream memories back into whatever dark corner of his mind they'd crawled out of. He had an academy to get to, friends to laugh with, a graduation exam to pass in a week. Normal, everyday stuff that 12-year-olds worried about. He definitely wasn't going to think about the dream self's final words, whispered with a smile as death finally claimed him. I wish I'd stayed human. Konohagakure Academy buzzed with the usual pre-class chaos when Naruto arrived. Students clustered in groups, comparing jutsu notes and gossiping about who would pass the upcoming exam. Naruto spotted Shikamaru already asleep at his desk, Choji munching on chips beside him, and Kiba arguing with Akamaru about something only a dog could care about. And there, sitting by the window with perfect posture and that annoyingly cool expression, was Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto's chest tightened. It wasn't the usual spike of rivalry, that burning need to prove himself against the class prodigy. This was something different. Something that made his palms itch and his heartbeat accelerate and his body want to move, to test himself to see who was stronger. What the hell? Naruto shook his head, forcing the feeling down. Sasuke was his rival, sure, but this was more intense than normal, more hungry. Naruto! Sakura's voice cut through his thoughts. She stood with Ino near the classroom entrance, both girls shooting him exasperated looks. You're late! Again! The exam's in a week and you still can't show up on time, Ino added with a smirk. Maybe that's why you failed twice already. The words should have stung. Usually did. But Naruto barely registered them because his attention had snagged on something else. The way Sakura shifted her weight to her left foot, how her center of gravity tilted slightly forward, the tension in her shoulders that suggested she was ready to swing at him if he said something stupid. How do I know that? How can I read her like that? Earth to Naruto. Sakura waved a hand in front of his face. Are you okay? You look weird. I'm fine. Naruto forced his trademark grin, wide and bright and completely fake. Better than fine. I'm gonna pass this exam for sure, believe it. You said that last time, Sakura pointed out. And the time before that, Ino added. Whatever retort Naruto might have made died when Iruka-sensei entered the classroom, carrying a stack of papers and looking tired in that way teachers always did when dealing with 12-year-olds who thought they were invincible. Everyone sit down, Iruka called out. We have a lot to cover before the graduation exam. Naruto slid into his usual seat, middle row, close enough to pay attention but far enough back to daydream when things got boring. Except today, his body felt restless. His fingers drummed against the desk in a pattern he didn't recognize. His leg bounced with excess energy that had nowhere to go. The morning lessons blurred together. History of the 5 great nations, proper kunai throwing technique, basic genjutsu theory. Naruto tried to focus, he really did, but his mind kept drifting back to the dream. Upper Moon 3. AKAZA. 200 years of fighting. My name was Hakuji. I was human once. Naruto. Iruka's sharp voice snapped him back to reality. Are you paying attention? Yes, sensei. Naruto straightened, trying to look alert. Then perhaps you can tell the class the proper hand seals for the substitution jutsu? Ram, boar, ox, dog, snake. The answer appeared in his mind instantly, automatically. Naruto blinked. He'd always been terrible at memorizing seals. How did he... Ram, boar, ox, dog, snake? Iruka's eyebrows rose. That's correct. Good job, Naruto. Whispers rippled through the classroom. Naruto caught Sakura's surprised expression, Shikamaru's interested glance, Sasuke's brief evaluation before the Uchiha returned his attention to the window. Naruto slumped in his seat, heart racing. He hadn't meant to know the answer, hadn't studied it. The information had just been there, like someone had written it directly into his brain. What's happening to me? The rest of the morning crept by with agonizing slowness. Every time Iruka called on him, Naruto found himself giving correct answers he shouldn't know. His classmates' whispers grew louder. Even Sasuke was watching him now with something that might have been curiosity. When lunch break finally arrived, Naruto bolted from the classroom like his pants were on fire. He found himself at his usual spot, the old training field behind the academy, overgrown and forgotten where nobody would bother him. The field had seen better days. Target dummies leaned at odd angles, kunai scarred the wooden posts, and the grass grew wild between cracked training stones. It was peaceful, quiet, a place where Naruto could think without the weight of everyone's expectations or disdain pressing down on him. He sat on one of the training stones, pulling out the rice balls he'd bought from the convenience store that morning. They were cold and a little squished, but food was food, except he wasn't hungry. His hands kept clenching into fists, releasing, clenching again. His body felt wound tight, like a spring compressed to its limit. The restlessness from this morning had only intensified, and now sitting still felt almost painful. I need to move. The thought was foreign and familiar all at once. Naruto stood, rice balls forgotten. His body shifted into a stance without conscious thought, weight balanced, center low, fists raised in a guard position he'd never learned. What am I doing? But his body already knew. He punched. The movement was clean, efficient, perfect. His fist cut through the air with a sharp snap, and for just a moment, just a split second, Naruto felt the phantom sensation of impact, of a shockwave rippling outward, of power that could shatter stone. He stumbled back, breathing hard. That wasn't me. That was the dream self, AKAZA. Whatever ghost was haunting his muscle memory and turning him into someone, something else. No, Naruto said aloud to the empty field. No, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, not some dead guy from a nightmare. I'm me. He punched again, deliberately sloppy this time, using his old form, the wild, unrefined style that Iruka was always criticizing. See? Normal. He was normal. Except his body resisted the poor form. His muscles wanted to shift, to correct, to move with that terrifying efficiency that felt like second nature. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Naruto? He spun, heart leaping into his throat. Iruka stood at the edge of the training field, lunchbox in hand and concern written across his scarred face. Sensei! Naruto's voice came out too loud, too bright. I was just, Training. You know, for the exam. Iruka approached slowly, like Naruto was a spooked animal that might bolt. You left class in a hurry. Are you feeling all right? I'm fine. You don't look fine. Iruka sat on one of the training stones, gesturing for Naruto to join him. You've been distracted all morning, and those answers you gave in class. I studied. The lie tasted bitter. I've been studying real hard for the exam. Naruto. Iruka's voice was gentle. I've been your teacher for 3 years. I know when you're lying. The words hung in the air between them. Naruto's throat tightened. Part of him wanted to spill everything. The dreams, the memories that weren't his, the way his body moved like it belonged to someone else. But how could he explain something he didn't understand himself? I've just been having weird dreams, Naruto finally said. It was the truth, if not the whole truth. They're making it hard to sleep. Iruka's expression softened. Nightmares about the Nine Tails? No, something else. Want to talk about it? I dream I'm a demon who lived for 200 years killing people until I finally died wishing I'd stayed human. Want to help me process that, sensei? It's nothing, Naruto said instead. Just stress about the exam, probably. Iruka didn't look convinced, but he let it drop. They sat in companionable silence for a few minutes, the afternoon sun warm on their faces, the sounds of the village distant and peaceful. Naruto, Iruka said eventually, whatever's bothering you, you don't have to face it alone. That's what friends are for, what teachers are for. The kindness in those words made Naruto's chest ache. Iruka had always been there, the one person in the whole village who looked at him and saw him, not the demon container everyone else saw. Thanks, sensei. And Naruto? Iruka stood, brushing grass from his pants. Those answers you gave in class were correct, but the way you delivered them, you sounded different. Older. It was like listening to a chunin, not a student. Naruto's blood ran cold. Just be careful, okay? Iruka's smile was strained. If something's changing with the seal, we need to know. For your safety. He left before Naruto could respond. Alone again, Naruto stared at his hands. They looked the same as always, small, young, human. But he could still feel the phantom sensations from the dream, could still remember what it felt like to punch through steel, to shatter bone, to fight and fight and fight until the entire world was just violence and hunger, and the desperate need to prove his strength. That's not me. That's not who I am. But what if it was becoming who he was? The week passed in a blur of mounting anxiety. Naruto avoided his classmates more than usual, spent his evenings at the training field practicing alone, and woke up every night drenched in sweat from dreams of rain and blood and a name he couldn't forget. Koyuki. His body continued to betray him with skills he shouldn't possess. During a sparring session, he'd put Kiba on his back in 3 moves, reading the Inuzuka's attacks like an open book. In weapons practice, his kunai throws gained accuracy that made the instructor do a double take. Even his written tests, historically a disaster, came back with passing marks. Iruka watched him with increasing concern. His classmates watched him with confusion. Sasuke watched him with something that might have been interest, and Naruto watched himself becoming someone else. The night before the graduation exam, Naruto stood in his apartment staring at his reflection. Orange jumpsuit laid out for tomorrow, Konoha headband waiting to be earned, everything ready for the moment he'd been working toward for years. But the face in the mirror looked wrong. The eyes held knowledge they shouldn't. The stance was too confident, too predatory. When he moved, it was with grace that 12 years of life hadn't earned. Who am I becoming? The dream came that night with crushing intensity. Rain, swords, the moment of death and revelation. But this time, it didn't end with decapitation. This time, the dream self's eyes met Naruto's across the barrier between past and present, and Naruto finally understood. This wasn't the Nine Tails messing with his head. This was a soul remembering what it used to be. I was Hakuji. I became AKAZA. I died. And now I'm you. We're the same person. I'm your past life. Naruto woke up screaming. The graduation exam took place in the academy's main hall, proctors lined up at tables, students filtering through in nervous clusters. Naruto walked through it in a daze. Written test passed, weapons test passed, basic jutsu passed, clone jutsu failed. He stared at the pathetic, half-formed clone sitting on the floor, gray skin, barely holding shape, already dissolving. The technique that had defeated him twice before struck again. Too much chakra, Iruka always said. The Nine Tails' influence made precise control impossible. I'm sorry, Naruto, Iruka said, and he really did look sorry. You'll have to try again next year. The world tilted sideways. Failed. Again. 3 times now. Everyone else would graduate, even Shikamaru, who slept through half the classes, and Naruto would be left behind alone. A failure in yet another way. He stumbled out of the academy as the sun set, ignoring Sakura's pitying look, Sasuke's indifference, Shikamaru's lazy wave goodbye. His feet carried him to the Hokage monument without conscious direction. He climbed to his usual spot, a small outcropping behind the 4th Hokage's head, where he could see the whole village spread out below. Lights flickered on as darkness fell. Families sitting down to dinner, friends laughing together, normal people living normal lives, completely unaware that somewhere above them sat a boy who was failing at being human and haunted by memories of being a demon. I can't even make a clone. What kind of ninja can't make a stupid clone? What kind of ninja am I supposed to be? There you are. Naruto jumped, spinning to find Mizuki-sensei climbing onto the outcropping. The white-haired instructor smiled, but something about it felt wrong. Too wide. Too friendly. Mizuki-sensei, what are you doing here? Looking for you. Mizuki sat beside him, dangling his legs over the edge. I heard about the exam. That's rough, Naruto. 3rd time failing. The words twisted like knives. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. But what if I told you there was another way to pass? Naruto's head snapped up. What? Mizuki's smile widened. A special test. Something the Hokage keeps quiet, only for students who show exceptional circumstances. Exceptional circumstances. You have the 9 tails sealed inside you, Naruto. That makes you special, makes you dangerous. The village needs to know you can control that power. Mizuki leaned closer, voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. There's a scroll. The Forbidden Scroll. Hidden in the Hokage's mansion. It contains powerful jutsu that only the strongest ninja can learn. If you steal it and master just one technique from it, the Hokage has to pass you. It's the rule. Something in Naruto's gut twisted. That sounds like your only chance, Mizuki finished, unless you want to fail again next year. And the year after that. How many times are you going to let them tell you you're not good enough? The words hit their mark. Naruto thought about Sakura's pity, Sasuke's indifference, the villagers who would never let him forget what he carried inside him. Thought about being left behind while everyone else moved forward. Thought about the dream self's desperate hunger for strength, for acknowledgement, for proof that his existence mattered. I don't want to be weak anymore. Where's this scroll? Naruto heard himself ask. Mizuki's smile turned triumphant. Breaking into the Hokage's mansion was easier than it should have been. Naruto moved through shadows with instincts he didn't question, avoiding patrols with efficiency that wasn't his own. His body knew how to step silently, how to blend with darkness, how to read the patterns of the guards' movements. This is wrong. This is theft. This is necessary. The strong survive, the weak are left behind. The thought felt foreign and familiar all at once. He found the Forbidden Scroll exactly where Mizuki had described. Locked vault, multiple seals, protected by layers of security that would have stopped any normal genin. But Naruto's hands moved through the seals with practiced ease. His fingers traced patterns in the air that he'd never learned, but his body remembered from a life spent breaking and entering, stealing and fighting, surviving in a world where strength was the only currency that mattered. The vault opened. The scroll was massive, easily as tall as Naruto himself, bound with leather straps and covered in seals that made his skin prickle. He could feel the power radiating from it like heat from a fire. This is really wrong. But he grabbed it anyway. Getting out was harder than getting in. Alarms screamed. Anbu appeared from nowhere, their animal masks gleaming in the moonlight. Naruto ran, the scroll clutched against his chest, his heart hammering as he pushed chakra into his legs for speed he shouldn't possess. He made it to the forest outside the village, found a clearing hidden by thick trees, and collapsed against a trunk with the scroll in his lap. Okay, I did it. Now I just need to learn one technique, and then what? Iruka-sensei emerged from the trees, and he looked angrier than Naruto had ever seen him. Sensei, I can explain. Explain why you stole the Forbidden Scroll. Iruka's voice was ice. Explain why you broke into the Hokage's mansion. Naruto, do you have any idea what you've done? Mizuki-sensei said. Mizuki said, what? The killing intent that rolled off Iruka made Naruto's blood freeze. This was different from the teacher's usual scolding. This was the chakra signature of a Chunin who'd seen combat, who'd killed, who was ready to do violence to protect something precious. He said if I learned a jutsu from the scroll, I'd pass the exam, Naruto said in a small voice. He said it was a special test for students with exceptional circumstances. Understanding dawned on Iruka's face, followed immediately by horror. Naruto, there is no special test. Mizuki lied to you. This scroll contains forbidden jutsu, dangerous techniques that are sealed for a reason. If you'd been caught with this by anyone other than me... A kunai whistled through the air. Iruka moved, pushing Naruto aside. The blade meant for Naruto's back buried itself in Iruka's shoulder instead. The teacher gasped, dropping to one knee, blood already staining his Chunin vest. Sensei! Well. Mizuki's voice drifted from the trees. He stepped into the clearing, and the friendly mask was gone. His smile was sharp and cruel. I was hoping the brat would make it farther before the Anbu caught him, but this works too. Mizuki, Iruka growled, pressing a hand to his bleeding shoulder. You traitor. Traitor? Mizuki laughed. I'm pragmatic. That scroll is worth a fortune. Orochimaru would pay. You were using me? Naruto's voice came out flat, empty. Of course I was using you, demon brat. Mizuki pulled out 2 massive Fuma shuriken from his back holster. Did you really think anyone in this village cares about you? You're the 9 tails in human skin. A monster. A weapon. Nothing more. The words should have hurt. They did hurt. But under the pain was something else. Something colder. Something that had existed for 200 years before kindness died and only strength remained. The weak are always used by the strong. That's the way of the world. Naruto, run! Iruka tried to stand. Failed. Take the scroll and... Why? Mizuki interrupted. Let the demon brat hear the truth for once. Everyone in the village knows what you are, Naruto. 12 years ago, the 4th Hokage didn't kill the 9 tails. He sealed it inside a baby. Inside you. You're the monster that destroyed our village. You're the reason people died. Monster. Demon. Weapon. The words echoed in Naruto's head, mixing with dream memories of being called the same things, of being treated as less than human for so long that humanity became a distant concept. I was a monster. I became a monster. I forgot what it meant to be human. Am I still a monster now? Naruto, don't listen to him. Iruka's voice cut through the darkness. You're not the 9 tails. You're Naruto Uzumaki. You're my student. Mizuki threw the first Fuma shuriken. The massive blade spun through the air, straight for Iruka's head. The teacher was wounded, couldn't move fast enough. Couldn't. Naruto moved. His body knew what to do before his mind caught up. He was there, standing between Mizuki and Iruka, his arm raised. The Fuma shuriken's edge met his palm, and instead of cutting through flesh, it stopped. Completely stopped. Naruto stared at his hand, gripping the spinning blade, his body locked in a stance he'd never learned. Every muscle suddenly alive with knowledge that wasn't his, but was becoming his with each passing second. What the? Mizuki's eyes widened. Naruto? Iruka breathed. This is it. This is the moment. The moment I choose who I'm going to be. Naruto could feel it rising inside him. 200 years of combat instinct. The muscle memory of a demon who'd perfected the art of murder. The knowledge of exactly how to move his body to turn Mizuki into a corpse before the traitor could blink. Part of him wanted to. The dark part. The part that whispered about strength and survival and making sure nobody ever hurt him or his people again. But another part, the part that was purely, stubbornly Naruto, remembered Iruka's kindness. Remembered ramen shared on lonely nights. Remembered the feeling of being acknowledged as human when the whole village called him monster. I don't want to kill him, but I can't let him hurt Iruka-sensei. The Fuma shuriken in his grip. Mizuki already reaching for the second one, Iruka bleeding behind him. Decision time measured in heartbeats. Naruto threw the shuriken back, not at Mizuki, past him. A warning shot that embedded itself in the tree behind the traitor with enough force to make the whole trunk shake. Leave, Naruto said, and his voice was different. Deeper. Harder, before I change my mind. Mizuki laughed, sharp and mocking. You think you can threaten me, demon brat? I'm a Chunin. You're a failed academy student. He threw the second Fuma shuriken. This time, Naruto didn't try to catch it. His body moved, and it was like watching someone else puppet his flesh. A sidestep that carried him past the blade's trajectory. A pivot that shifted his weight perfectly. A crouch that coiled his muscles like springs. And then he punched. Destructive death, air type. The words fell from his lips without permission. The technique activated without conscious thought. His fist connected with empty air 3 feet from Mizuki's face, and for a split second, nothing happened. Then the shockwave hit. An invisible wall of compressed air erupted from Naruto's punch, rippling outward like a stone dropped in still water. It caught Mizuki's center mass and launched him backward with brutal force. The traitor flew 20 feet before slamming into a tree hard enough to crack the bark. He crumpled to the ground unconscious before he finished falling. Silence. Naruto stood frozen, fist still extended, staring at his hand like it belonged to someone else. What did I just do? What am I? Naruto? Iruka's voice was very small. How did you? Naruto turned. His teacher was staring at him with an expression somewhere between awe and fear. Blood still seeped from the kunai wound in his shoulder, but that wasn't what had Iruka's complete attention. I don't know, Naruto whispered. Sensei, I don't know what's happening to me. More voices in the distance, running footsteps. The Anbu were coming, drawn by the alarm that Naruto's theft had triggered. Iruka struggled to his feet, swaying. Naruto, give me the scroll. I'll handle this. I'll tell them you were manipulated by Mizuki. You won't be punished. But I stole. You're 12 years old, and you were tricked by a traitor. Iruka's smile was pained but genuine. Besides, you just protected me. Protected the scroll. That counts for something. Really? Really? Naruto handed over the forbidden scroll, his hands trembling. The adrenaline was fading, leaving exhaustion in its wake. His body ached in ways it shouldn't. Like the technique he just used had pulled something from muscles that weren't meant to handle that kind of power. Not yet. Not with this body. The thought felt like someone else's. Iruka pulled off his own forehead protector, the blue cloth with Konoha's leaf symbol gleaming in the moonlight. Close your eyes, the teacher said. What? Why? Just do it. Naruto obeyed. He felt Iruka tie something around his forehead, the weight of it unfamiliar and precious. You can open them now. Naruto's hand went to his forehead, touching the metal plate of a Konoha headband. Sensei, this is your graduation present. Iruka's smile was warm despite the pain in his shoulder, despite everything that had just happened. Congratulations, Naruto. You pass. But the exam, you protected your teacher and stopped a traitor. That's more than good enough. Iruka ruffled Naruto's hair with his good hand. You're a ninja now. Act like it. The Anbu burst into the clearing a moment later, 6 of them, weapons drawn, killing intent sharp enough to cut. But Iruka waved them down, explaining in quick sentences about Mizuki's betrayal, Naruto's manipulation, the traitor's defeat. They believed him. Or at least, they believed enough to not immediately arrest the 12-year-old demon container standing there with blood on his hands, and a technique he shouldn't know in his muscle memory. Naruto watched them haul Mizuki's unconscious form away, watched Iruka get escorted to the hospital by a medical nin who appeared in a swirl of leaves, watched the scroll get sealed into one of the Anbu's storage scrolls, hidden away again. And through it all, Naruto could only stare at his hands. The hands that had stopped a spinning blade, that had punched air hard enough to create a shockwave, that had moved with centuries of experience they shouldn't possess. Destructive death, air type. Where had those words come from? How had he known what to say, what to do, how to move? Because you've done it thousands of times before. Because this body is new but the soul remembers. Because you were Hakuji who became AKAZA who died and somehow ended up here, now, as Naruto Uzumaki. The realization settled over him like a weight. He wasn't just having nightmares about someone else's life. He was someone else. Or had been. Or still was, somehow, impossibly, merged into this body, this life, this second chance he didn't ask for and didn't know how to handle. 200 years of murder. 200 years of fighting and killing and forgetting what it meant to be human. And now he was 12 years old, with a headband he barely earned, and a teacher who looked at him like he was a hero instead of the monster everyone else saw. I don't want to be AKAZA. I don't want to become that thing again. But the techniques were there, lurking in his muscle memory like landmines waiting to be triggered. The instincts, the hunger for combat, the cold calculation of how to turn every fight into a victory regardless of cost. All of it still churning beneath the surface of Naruto Uzumaki's cheerful mask. Who am I supposed to be? The last Anbu departed in a flutter of leaves and displaced air, leaving Naruto alone in the forest, clearing as dawn began to paint the sky in shades of orange and gold. He should go home, should sleep, should process everything that had just happened in the span of a few hours. Instead, his feet carried him deeper into the forest, to the old training ground where he'd been practicing alone all week. The field was empty, as always. Silent except for birdsong and the rustle of wind through trees. Safe. Private. A place where he could think without the weight of the village's judgment pressing down on him. Naruto stood in the center of the clearing, fist raised, trying to remember how he'd done it. The shockwave. The technique. The words that had felt so natural falling from his lips. Destructive death, air type. He punched. Nothing happened. Just a normal punch cutting through empty air, no different from the sloppy form he'd always used. He tried again, and again. Each time just a normal punch from a 12-year-old boy who barely graduated from the academy and still couldn't make a proper clone. Come on, I did it before. Why can't I do it now? Maybe it had been a fluke. Maybe the adrenaline, the fear, the desperate need to protect Iruka had unlocked something temporarily that he couldn't access in a calm moment. Or maybe, Naruto closed his eyes, reaching for the dream memories that had haunted him all week. Rain, fists, the desperate hunger to prove strength. 200 years of fighting not because of hatred or revenge, but because combat was the only thing that made sense anymore, the only language a demon could speak. His body shifted without permission. Weight dropping, center lowering, fists rising into a guard position that felt like coming home. This is wrong. This isn't me. But what if it is? What if this has always been me, just sleeping until now? Naruto punched again. This time, he felt it. The gathering of physical force in his muscles, the compression of air against his knuckles, the perfect alignment of body and intent. Not chakra. Something else. Something purely physical, but executed with such precision that it transcended normal human limitations. A small shockwave rippled outward. Nothing like the one that had launched Mizuki into a tree, but present. Real. Naruto stared at his fist, breathing hard. I really did it. It wasn't a fluke. This is part of me now. Part of AKAZA, whispered the dark corner of his mind. Part of the demon who spent 2 centuries perfecting the art of murder until even death couldn't make him forget. No, Naruto said aloud to the empty clearing. No, that's not who I'm going to be. He thought about Iruka's smile as he'd handed over the headband. Thought about the teacher taking a kunai meant for him. Thought about being called human when everyone else called him monster. AKAZA forgot what it meant to be human. He died wishing he'd stayed human. I won't make that mistake. I'll use this power, these techniques, these instincts, whatever this is, but I'll use them to protect people. Like Iruka protected me, like the 4th Hokage protected the village. I'll be strong, but I won't be a demon. The resolution felt flimsy against the weight of 200 years of contrary evidence, but it was all he had. Naruto practiced until his body ached and the sun climbed fully into the sky, trying to recreate that perfect alignment of body and intent. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't. His 12-year-old muscles weren't ready for the kind of strain that AKAZA's demon body had handled effortlessly. He'd coughed up blood twice before finally stopping, each instance a reminder that his body had limits, even if his soul remembered being limitless. I need to get stronger. Need to train this body until it can handle what I remember how to do. The thought carried echoes of AKAZA's obsessive drive, but Naruto pushed that away. This was different. He wasn't seeking strength for its own sake. He was seeking it to protect, to prove that even a demon's reincarnation could choose to be human. That had to count for something. 3 days later, team assignments were posted at the academy. Naruto stood in front of the board, headband tied proudly around his forehead, staring at the list of names that would determine his future. Team 7, Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, Joan Instructor, Kakashi Hatake. No way! Sakura's voice cut through his thoughts. She stood beside him, expression torn between joy at being with Sasuke and horror at being with Naruto. I'm stuck with you, and I get Sasuke-kun? This is the best and worst day ever. At least you're not stuck with Sasuke and the dead last, Ino called from across the room, earning a glare from Sakura that promised later violence. Naruto barely heard them. His attention had snagged on Sasuke, standing by the window with that same cool expression he always wore, looking at the team assignments with complete disinterest. And just like before, just like in class all week, Naruto's chest tightened with that familiar, terrifying hunger. I want to fight him, not the playful rivalry of academy students competing for grades and attention. This was something deeper, more primal. The same instinct that had driven AKAZA to seek out the strongest opponents, to test himself against them, to prove through combat that his existence had meaning. Sasuke's eyes met his across the classroom. For a moment, just a heartbeat, Naruto could have sworn he saw something flicker in the Uchiha's expression. Recognition, maybe, or acknowledgement. As if Sasuke had sensed the same thing Naruto felt. The potential for a rivalry that went deeper than either of them understood yet. Then Sasuke looked away and the moment passed. He's strong, whispered the AKAZA part of Naruto's mind. Stronger than the others, maybe even stronger than you are now. Fight him. Test yourself. Prove. Shut up, Naruto muttered under his breath. What? Sakura turned to him, confused. Nothing, just talking to myself. Naruto forced his trademark grin. This is gonna be awesome. Team 7, believe it. The other students filed out, heading to their assigned classrooms to meet their new teams. Naruto followed, Sakura chattering beside him about how she'd definitely make Sasuke notice her, how this was fate, how Team 7 was going to be the best team ever, despite having Naruto dragging them down. Naruto tuned her out. His mind was already elsewhere, cataloging Sasuke's movements as the Uchiha walked ahead of them. The way he carried himself with complete confidence. The efficiency of his stride. The unconscious readiness in his posture, like he was always prepared for a fight. He's been trained well, probably by his clan before everyone knew what had happened to the Uchiha clan. The massacre. The sole survivor sitting in classroom 301, pretending he was fine, when anyone with eyes could see the ghosts that haunted him. Naruto understood ghosts. Maybe we're not so different, he thought. Both of us carrying something we didn't ask for. Both of us trying to prove we're more than the darkness everyone sees when they look at us. The difference was that Sasuke's darkness came from tragedy. Naruto's came from being that tragedy in a previous life. I killed hundreds of people, maybe thousands, and I enjoyed it. I was a monster who forgot what it meant to love or care or be human. Sasuke just wants revenge on the person who made him feel that way. So why do I feel like I understand him better than anyone else in this room? They filed into classroom 301, neutral ground before team assignments became real. Most of the other teams had already left with their Jonin instructors. Only Team 7 remained, sitting in uncomfortable silence while they waited for someone named Kakashi Hatake to show up. Naruto took his usual seat. Sasuke sat by the window. Sakura positioned herself next to Sasuke, shooting longing glances that the Uchiha completely ignored. Minutes ticked by. Where is this guy? Sakura finally burst out. We've been waiting forever! It's been 10 minutes, Sasuke said without looking at her. Exactly. Forever. Naruto said nothing. His attention was on his hands, clenched into fists on the desk. He could still feel the phantom sensation of the air-type technique, the perfect alignment of body and force. Could still remember the look on Mizuki's face when an academy failure had launched him into a tree with a single punch. I did that. Me. Using techniques from a life I shouldn't remember. The door slid open. A man leaned in. Spiky silver hair defying gravity, one eye hidden behind a Hatayate worn at an angle, the visible eye curved in what might have been a smile behind the mask covering the lower half of his face. Team 7? His voice was lazy, almost bored. My first impression is, you're all kind of boring. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. He disappeared in a swirl of leaves before any of them could respond. Did he just... Sakura started. Shunshin no Jutsu, Sasuke was already standing. Body flicker. He's the real deal. They made it to the roof in 3 minutes flat, driven by a combination of eagerness and annoyance at being called boring. The silver-haired jonin, Kakashi Hatake, presumably, sat on the railing, reading a small orange book with what appeared to be concerning cover art. "You're late," Sakura said. "Actually, you're early." Kakashi didn't look up from his book. "I said 5 minutes. It's only been 3. You were late to meet us in the first place." "Was I?" Kakashi finally closed the book, tucking it into his pouch. His visible eye curved into a smile. "Well, time is relative. Now how about introductions? Tell me your name, likes, dislikes, dreams for the future. You know, the basics." "Why don't you go first?" Naruto heard himself say. "So we know how it's done." Kakashi's eye focused on him with sudden intensity that made Naruto's instincts flare. This wasn't a bored jonin. This was a predator evaluating potential threats, hidden behind a mask of laziness and inappropriate literature. "He's strong," the AKAZA part of Naruto's mind whispered. "Very strong. Be careful." "Fair enough," Kakashi said lightly. "I'm Kakashi Hatake. My likes and dislikes are none of your business. Dreams for the future? Haven't really thought about it. Hobbies? I have lots." Awkward silence. "That told us basically nothing," Sakura muttered. "Your turn, Pinky." Sakura bristled at the nickname but launched into her introduction anyway, talking about Sasuke, her rivalry with Ino, her dream of making Sasuke notice her. Standard fare for a 12-year-old with a crush. Sasuke went next, his introduction clipped and cold. Only his dream gave any hint of the fire beneath. "To restore my clan and kill a certain someone." The temperature on the roof seemed to drop several degrees. Kakashi's eye narrowed slightly, but he said nothing. Just turned to Naruto with that same evaluating stare. "Your turn, Whiskers." Naruto opened his mouth. Closed it. What was he supposed to say? "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like ramen and training and people who acknowledge me as human. I dislike the 3 minutes it takes for instant ramen to cook, and people who see me as the Nine Tails. My dream is to become Hokage, so everyone has to acknowledge me. Oh, and I'm also the reincarnation of a demon who murdered hundreds of people over 2 centuries because I forgot what it meant to be human, and now I'm terrified I'm going to become that monster again." "I'm Naruto Uzumaki," he said finally. "I like ramen and training. I dislike people who judge others before knowing them. My dream is to become Hokage so everyone will acknowledge me, believe it." Standard introduction, nothing revealing. Nothing that would make Kakashi look at him the way Iruka had after the Mizuki incident, with concern and fear and the beginning of doubt. But Kakashi's eye lingered on him a moment longer than it had on the others. "Interesting," the jonin said softly. "Well then, Team 7, congratulations on graduating from the academy. Unfortunately, you're not actually Genin yet." "What?" All 3 of them spoke in unison. Kakashi's eye curved into a smile that didn't reach his voice. "The academy graduation was just a preliminary screening. Tomorrow, you'll face the real test, a test that has a 66% failure rate, so I'd suggest you don't eat breakfast. You'll just throw it up." "What kind of test?" Sasuke asked. "A survival exercise. Meet me at Training Ground 3 at 5 a.m. Don't be late." Kakashi stood, preparing to leave. "Oh, and bring your kunai. You're going to need them." He vanished in another body flicker, leaving 3 newly assigned genin staring at empty air. "Survival exercise?" Sakura's voice was small. "What does that mean?" "It means he's going to try to kill us," Sasuke said flatly, "or close to it. That's how Jonin tests genin, by pushing them to their limits to see if they break." "That's insane." "That's being a ninja." Naruto said nothing. His mind was already running through scenarios, calculating angles and distances and how to move his body for maximum efficiency. Combat planning that shouldn't come naturally to a 12-year-old who'd never been in a real fight beyond academy sparring. "Tomorrow. I'll have to fight for real tomorrow. Against a jonin, against someone strong." Part of him was terrified. Part of him, the part that remembered 200 years of combat, was excited. No, I'm not excited about fighting. That's AKAZA's instinct, not mine. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I don't want to hurt people. I want to protect people. But the distinction was getting harder to maintain with each passing day. Naruto spent that evening at Ichiraku Ramen, his usual refuge when the world got too complicated. "The usual, Naruto?" Tochi, the owner, smiled warmly as Naruto took his seat at the bar. "Yeah, but make it extra large. I need energy for tomorrow." "Big day?" "Jonin test. My team's instructor is going to try to kill us." Tochi laughed, thinking it was a joke. Sounds rough. 1 extra large miso ramen coming up. While he waited, Naruto let his mind wander. The ramen stand was one of the few places in the village where people treated him normally. Tochi and his daughter Ayame never looked at him with fear or hatred, just a customer who loved ramen and always paid his bill. If I become Hokage, I'll make sure everyone treats people like Tochi does. No more hatred. No more fear. Just people seeing people. The ramen arrived, steaming and perfect. Naruto broke apart his chopsticks, preparing to dig in when his hand froze. His reflection stared back at him from the polished counter. Blonde hair, blue eyes, whisker marks. But for just a moment, superimposed over his own face, he saw something else. Pink hair, yellow eyes with blue sclera, the compass needle pattern burning in those inhuman irises. AKAZA. Naruto blinked, and the image was gone. Just his own face looking back at him, worried and young and very, very human. I'm not you, he thought fiercely. I won't become you. I'll use your strength, but I won't lose myself to it. I promise. The resolution felt hollow against 200 years of contrary evidence, but it was all he had. Naruto ate his ramen in silence, trying not to think about tomorrow's test, about fighting a Jonin, about how his body would move with instincts that weren't his own, about the hunger for combat that grew stronger each time he let AKAZA's techniques surface. I'll be fine. I'll pass the test. I'll become a real ninja. And I'll do it as Naruto Uzumaki, not as some dead demon's second chance. I have to believe that. Because if I don't... He touched his headband, feeling the metal plate with Konoha's symbol etched into it. The symbol of the village that saw him as a monster. The village he wanted to protect anyway, because protection was human, and AKAZA had forgotten how to be human, and Naruto refused to make the same mistake. Tomorrow, he thought. Tomorrow, I'll prove I'm more than the Nine Tails container, more than AKAZA's reincarnation, more than everyone's low expectations. Tomorrow, I'll start becoming the Hokage. The resolution carried more confidence than he felt. But fake it till you make it, right? That's what Iruka always said. Naruto finished his ramen, paid his bill, thanked Tochi for the meal, and walked home through streets that grew quieter and more hostile the closer he got to his apartment. People pulled their children inside when they saw him coming. Shopkeepers closed their doors. Whispers followed in his wake. Demon brat. Monster. The Nine Tails... He'd lived with it for 12 years. Should be used to it by now. But tonight, with AKAZA's memories churning in his head and tomorrow's test looming, the hatred felt heavier than usual. They're afraid of what I might become. And maybe they're right to be. His apartment was dark and empty, as always. No family waiting, no warm dinner on the table. Just instant ramen in the cupboard and loneliness soaked into the walls. Naruto collapsed onto his bed without bothering to change out of his clothes. Sleep came reluctantly, and with it, the dreams. Rain. Always rain in these memories. Hakuji stood in the snow outside the dojo watching Koyuki arrange flowers in the garden. She hummed softly, completely absorbed in her work, unaware that she was being watched. You're staring again, Keizo said from behind him. The old master's voice carried amusement. I'm not staring, I'm observing. Is that what the young people call it these days? Hakuji felt his face heat. Master Keizo, You love her. It's written all over your face every time you look at her. Keizo's hand settled on Hakuji's shoulder, firm and warm. That's good. A man needs something worth protecting. Something that makes him want to be better than he is. But I'm just a criminal. A thief. How can someone like me? You were a thief. Now you're my student. Now you're someone who works hard and trains honestly and takes care of people who matter to him. Keizo smiled. The past doesn't define us, Hakuji. Our choices do. And you've chosen to be better. Chosen to be better. The words echoed as the dream shifted, fast-forwarding through time like pages flipping in a book. Marriage, happiness, a future planned, and then poison in the well. Bodies in the dojo. Koyuki's hand, cold and lifeless in his. And the moment when Hakuji's humanity shattered, when he stopped being human and became something else, something that killed 67 men with bare hands, and then kept killing for 200 years, because the alternative was remembering what he'd lost. Naruto woke with tears on his face. His room was still dark, still empty. But now it felt haunted by a ghost wearing his face. I won't forget, he promised the darkness. I won't forget what it means to be human. I won't forget that bonds matter more than strength. I won't make your mistakes, Hakuji. I swear it. Outside his window, Konoha slept, unaware that somewhere in its midst, a boy carrying a demon's soul and a demon's techniques was trying desperately to stay human. Trying, and not entirely sure he was succeeding. But he'd keep trying anyway. Because that's what Naruto Uzumaki did. He never gave up. Not even on himself. Naruto didn't sleep for the rest of the night. He lay in bed watching shadows crawl across his ceiling, feeling the phantom weight of memories that weren't his pressing down on his chest. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Koyuki's face, heard Keizo's voice, felt the snow falling on skin that should have been warm but wasn't, couldn't be, not after 200 years of being something other than human. The past doesn't define us, our choices do. Keizo's words, spoken to a thief who wanted to be better. Words that AKAZA had forgotten somewhere in those 2 centuries of murder and hunger and desperate, clawing need to prove his existence through strength. I won't forget, Naruto thought for the 100th time that night. I'll remember. I'll choose differently. But the hunger was still there, coiled in his gut like a sleeping serpent. The need to test himself, to fight, to prove through combat that he was strong enough to matter. That's not me. That's him. That's AKAZA. The distinction felt thinner every day. At 4:30 a.m., Naruto gave up on sleep entirely. He rolled out of bed, pulled on his orange jumpsuit, and tied his new headband around his forehead with hands that only trembled slightly. Training ground 3:05 a.m. Don't be late. Kakashi's instructions echoed in his mind as he made his way through Konoha's pre-dawn streets. The village was quiet at this hour. Shops closed, streets empty except for the occasional early rising vendor preparing for the day. No one to stare at him with fear and hatred, no one to whisper demon brat as he passed. Just Naruto and the morning and the knowledge that today would change everything. Today I prove I can be a real ninja. Today I show everyone that Naruto Uzumaki isn't just the Nine Tails container or the dead last of the academy or whatever AKAZA's reincarnation is supposed to be. Today I prove I'm me. Training Ground 3 was located on the outskirts of the village, a large clearing surrounded by dense forest, with 3 wooden posts in the center and a small memorial stone off to one side. The kind of place where Jonin could push Genin to their limits without worrying about collateral damage to civilians. Naruto arrived at 4:45 a.m., 15 minutes early. The clearing was empty. He stood at the edge, watching morning mist curl through the grass, and tried to calm the nervous energy thrumming through his body. His muscles felt coiled, ready. His senses were sharper than they should be. He could hear birds in the trees, smell the dew on grass, feel the subtle shift of air currents against his skin. AKAZA's instincts, his body awareness. It's all still there. Part of him wanted to practice, to run through the movements that his body remembered, punch, pivot, dodge, strike, to feel that perfect alignment of force and intent that had sent Mizuki flying into a tree. But another part of him was terrified of what would happen if he started and couldn't stop. What if I lose myself to it? What if I start practicing and wake up 3 hours later having destroyed half the training ground because AKAZA's hunger took over? You're early, Naruto spun, heart leaping into his throat. Sasuke stood at the tree line, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable in the pre-dawn gloom. He looked composed, confident, completely unfazed by the 5 a.m. meeting time or the threat of a Jonin-level survival exercise. Of course he does. He's Sasuke Uchiha. He's probably been training since midnight. Yeah, well, Naruto forced his trademark grin, wide and bright and completely fake. Didn't want to be late, believe it. Sasuke's dark eyes studied him with uncomfortable intensity. You've changed. The words hit like a physical blow. What? No, I haven't. I'm the same Naruto I've always been. Your stance is different. Sasuke moved closer, still watching him with that analytical gaze. The way you hold yourself. It's more efficient, controlled, like you've been training seriously instead of goofing off. He noticed. Of course he noticed. Sasuke notices everything. I have been training seriously. I graduated, didn't I? Barely. You still can't make a proper clone. Sasuke stopped a few feet away, and for a moment something flickered in his expression. Curiosity, maybe, or challenge. But the Mizuki incident... I heard about it. Heard you took him down in one hit. An academy failure defeating a Chunin. Mizuki was a traitor and I got lucky. Luck doesn't explain technique. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Where did you learn that punch? The one that created the shockwave? Naruto's mouth went dry. How does he know about that? The Anbu wouldn't have spread that information. Unless... I have my sources, Sasuke said, as if reading his mind. The Uchiha clan might be gone, but people still talk to me, still think having the last Uchiha on their side is valuable. His voice carried bitter satisfaction. So I know things, like the fact that you used a technique that isn't in any of Konoha's academy curriculum, a taijutsu style that even the Anbu who processed Mizuki couldn't identify. Of course they couldn't identify it. It's from a demon who lived 200 years ago in a completely different world. I made it up, Naruto said weakly. In the moment, to protect Iruka-sensei. You don't just make up techniques under pressure, not ones that effective. Sasuke took another step closer. What aren't you telling me? The question hung in the air between them like a kunai balanced on its point. Naruto could feel it rising in his chest, that familiar, terrifying hunger. The same thing he'd felt every time he looked at Sasuke in the academy, the urge to test himself, to fight, to see which of them was stronger. He's challenging me. Not with words, but I can feel it. His fighting spirit, his intent. The thought came with absolute certainty, like knowledge downloaded directly into his brain. Wait, fighting spirit? How can I? And then he felt it, like a sixth sense awakening, like a door opening in his mind that had always been there but never accessible until this moment. Naruto could suddenly sense Sasuke, not just see him standing there, but feel the weight of his presence, the intensity of his determination, the cold fire of his hatred burning beneath a mask of composure. It was like Sasuke had become a beacon in his awareness, pulsing with energy that had nothing to do with chakra and everything to do with pure intent. What is this? What's happening to me? You're staring, Sasuke said flatly. Naruto blinked, and the sensation faded slightly but didn't disappear. Sorry, just tired. Didn't sleep much. Neither did I. Sasuke turned away, moving toward the 3 wooden posts in the center of the clearing. But that's not going to save us if we fail this test. Kakashi is famous. Kakashi of the Sharingan, they call him. Copy ninja who's mastered over 1,000 jutsu. If he's serious about testing us, we're going to need everything we've got. Kakashi of the Sharingan. The Uchiha bloodline ability, but Kakashi isn't an Uchiha. How does that work? Questions for later. Right now, Naruto was more concerned with the strange new sense that had awakened in his awareness, the ability to feel Sasuke's presence like a physical weight. Is this part of AKAZA's abilities? Something called... what was it? The word rose from his memories like a bubble surfacing in water. Disorder. The battle compass. AKAZA could sense fighting spirit, read an opponent's intent, and predict their movements based on the intensity of their will to fight. That's what I'm feeling right now. Sasuke's fighting spirit. His determination. The realization should have been exciting. Instead, it filled Naruto with dread. Another ability. Another piece of AKAZA taking root in my body. How much of me is going to be left when this is over? Yo! Both of them turned. Sakura stood at the tree line, looking tired and annoyed. Her pink hair was slightly disheveled, her usual carefully maintained appearance sacrificed to the 5 a.m. meeting time. This is inhumane, she announced to no one in particular. Making us wake up this early for some stupid test. I didn't even have time to. She spotted Sasuke and immediately straightened, smile brightening. Oh, Sasuke-kun, you're here early too. I guess great minds think alike. I came early to prepare, Sasuke said without looking at her, not to socialize. Sakura deflated slightly but recovered fast. Right, of course, I should prepare too. How exactly do we prepare for a survival test? Stretch, check your equipment, conserve energy. Sasuke moved through a series of stretches with practiced efficiency. And don't assume this will be anything like academy sparring. Kakashi is Jonin level, he can kill us if he wants to. He wouldn't actually kill us though, right? Sakura's voice pitched higher. That would be crazy, we're just Genin. Genin die on missions all the time. Sasuke's tone was matter-of-fact. Better to weed out the weak ones now than have them die later when it costs the mission. The casual brutality of the statement made Sakura flinch. But Naruto barely heard it. His attention had split between Sasuke's presence, still burning in his awareness like a campfire in darkness, and a new sensation approaching from the village. Another presence, stronger, more refined, moving toward the training ground with casual confidence that spoke of absolute mastery. Kakashi. "He's coming," Naruto said before he could stop himself. "What?" Sakura looked around. "I don't see anyone." "Neither do I," Sasuke admitted, but his eyes had focused on Naruto with renewed intensity. "How do you know?" "Because I can feel his fighting spirit approaching. Because AKAZA's battle compass is active whether I want it to be or not. Because I'm turning into something that can sense combat intent like a bloodhound tracks scent." "Just a feeling," Naruto said lamely. 30 seconds later, Kakashi appeared in a swirl of leaves, materializing on top of one of the wooden posts with his hands in his pockets and that same orange book from yesterday tucked under his arm. "Yo," the Jonin said cheerfully. "You're all early. I'm impressed." "You said don't be late," Sakura pointed out. "I also said 5 a.m. It's only 4:55. Kakashi pulled out his book, flipping it open. "But since you're here, we might as well start." He produced 2 small bells from his pouch, jingling them lightly. "The test is simple. You have until noon to take these bells from me. Those who don't get a bell fail and get sent back to the academy." Kakashi's visible eye curved into a smile. "Oh, and there are only 2 bells, which means at least one of you will definitely fail." Silence. "That's not fair," Sakura burst out. "There are 3 of us. You're setting us up to fail." "Life isn't fair. Missions aren't fair. Being a ninja isn't fair." Kakashi tucked the bells into his pouch. "The question is, what are you going to do about it?" Naruto felt it then. A pulse of intent from Kakashi that made his newly awakened sense flare like someone had turned up the volume. The Jonin's presence was massive compared to Sasuke's, refined and controlled, but carrying the weight of hundreds of missions and thousands of combat encounters. He's not just strong, he's experienced. Dangerous. This is what a real ninja feels like. "Can we use any technique?" Sasuke asked, already sliding into a ready stance. "You can try." Kakashi still hadn't looked up from his book. "But you should come at me with intent to kill, otherwise you won't stand a chance." "Intent to kill?" Sakura's voice was very small. "He's serious," Naruto said quietly. His body had already shifted without permission, weight balanced, center low, ready to move. AKAZA's instincts screaming that this was a real fight, that Kakashi was a worthy opponent, that he needed to give this everything he had or die trying. No, not die. This is a test. He's not actually going to kill us, but he's going to push us to our limits to see if we break. Kakashi snapped his book shut. "Ready?" His visible eye had sharpened, and suddenly the lazy Jonin reading porn in public was gone, replaced by something else. Something that made Naruto's survival instincts scream. "Begin." All 3 of them scattered. Academy training kicked in automatically. Separate, take cover, don't cluster together where one attack can hit multiple targets. Naruto dove into the tree line, putting a thick oak between himself and Kakashi while his mind raced. "Okay. Think. How do we beat a Jonin? We don't. Not straight up. He's faster, stronger, more experienced. He knows more jutsu than all of us combined. But we don't have to beat him. We just have to take the bells. So, strategy, distraction, teamwork. Teamwork. Right, with Sasuke who doesn't do teamwork and Sakura who's in love with Sasuke and both of them hate me. This should be fun." Naruto peeked around the tree, using his newly awakened sense to track Kakashi's position. The Jonin hadn't moved from his perch on the wooden post. Just stood there, book open again, reading like he had all the time in the world. He's baiting us, waiting for us to make the first move. A kunai whistled past Naruto's face, embedding itself in the tree trunk with a solid thunk. Naruto spun to find Sasuke in the branches above him, already forming hand seals. "Move," the Uchiha hissed. "He's not going to wait forever." "I know that. I'm thinking." "Think later. Attack now." Sasuke dropped from the branch, hands completing a sequence of seals. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The blast of flame erupted from Sasuke's mouth, racing toward Kakashi with heat that Naruto could feel even from his position behind the tree. It was impressive. Academy students weren't supposed to know techniques like that. But Sasuke was an Uchiha, and the Uchiha were famous for their fire jutsu. The fireball engulfed the wooden post. For a moment, Naruto thought it had actually worked. Then the flames cleared, revealing Nothing. The post was empty. Kakashi had vanished. Behind you! Naruto's warning came too late. Kakashi appeared behind Sasuke in a blur of motion, hands already forming seals. Leaf Village secret technique, 1,000 years of death. The technique had a fancy name. The execution was less fancy. Kakashi's fingers jabbed Sasuke in a place that made the Uchiha's eyes bulge and his body launch forward like he'd been shot from a cannon. He crashed into the ground 10 feet away, groaning. "Always watch your back," Kakashi said cheerfully, returning to his perch on the post. Basic ninja skills. He didn't even try. He's toying with us. Naruto's body wanted to move, wanted to attack, wanted to test himself against this opponent who radiated competence and control. AKAZA's instincts screamed that this was what combat should be. Challenging, dangerous, meaningful. No, control it. Stay focused. This is a test, not a deathmatch. But his hands had already clenched into fists, and he could feel that perfect alignment starting to form, the gathering of physical force that preceded the air-type technique. Don't. If I use AKAZA's techniques, Kakashi will know something's wrong. He'll ask questions I can't answer. Sakura burst from the opposite tree line, kunai in hand, charging Kakashi directly. "Sakura, wait!" Naruto shouted. "That's not going to." Kakashi vanished again. This time he appeared behind Sakura, and Naruto felt the shift in his presence, the sudden spike of focused intent that meant he was about to do something. The battle compass in Naruto's mind pointed directly at Sakura like a needle finding north, screaming danger. Genjutsu, demonic illusion. Sakura's scream cut off abruptly as she collapsed, clutching her head. Whatever illusion Kakashi had trapped her in, it wasn't pleasant. 2 down. Kakashi turned his attention to Naruto's hiding spot. "You're the interesting one," the Jonin said conversationally, like he wasn't standing over 2 incapacitated genin. "Naruto Uzumaki, dead last of the academy, failed the graduation exam twice, can't make a proper clone, and yet..." He vanished. Naruto's battle compass screamed. He moved without thinking, body twisting, weight shifting, muscles responding to instincts that had been honed over 200 years. The kunai that would have pressed against his throat cut through empty air as Naruto flowed away from it, like water around stone. He ended up 3 feet away, facing Kakashi, both of them in ready stances. The Jonin's visible eye had widened slightly. "That was impressive," Kakashi said softly. "You sensed me. Moved before I could establish my position. That's not academy-level awareness." "Damn it." I gave myself away. "Just lucky," Naruto said. "Luck doesn't move like that." Kakashi tilted his head, studying Naruto with uncomfortable intensity. "Your stance is professional, your weight distribution is perfect, and the way you evaded, that was taijutsu from someone with real combat experience. Lie. Make up something. Anything. I've been training really hard." Naruto forced his grin again. "Lots of practice." Kakashi didn't sound convinced. "Show me what you've got, Naruto. Come at me with everything." It wasn't a request. Naruto's body moved before his brain could catch up, charging forward, fists drawn back, every instinct screaming that this was a fight worth having, an opponent worth testing himself against. No, stop. This is AKAZA's hunger, not mine." But his fist was already moving, cutting through the air toward Kakashi's face with speed that shouldn't be possible for a fresh academy graduate. Kakashi blocked it casually, his forearm meeting Naruto's punch with enough force to stop the momentum completely. Their eyes met. "Interesting," Kakashi said. "Your punch carries real weight, real technique. Where did you learn?" Naruto twisted, breaking the block, his body flowing into a combination he'd never practiced, but his muscles remembered perfectly. Left jab, right hook, spinning kick aimed at Kakashi's knee. The Jonin blocked each strike, but Naruto could feel him having to actually try now, having to engage with the threat instead of just toying with a child. "This is bad. I'm using AKAZA's techniques without meaning to. I'm giving everything away. But I can't stop." My body won't stop. The hunger had taken over. Naruto launched a kick at Kakashi's head. The Jonin ducked under it, but Naruto was already pivoting, bringing his other leg around in a follow-up strike that forced Kakashi to block with both arms. Destructive death. Naruto caught himself at the last second, biting down on the technique name before it could fully form. But the damage was done. His fist had already gathered that telltale compression of force, and when he punched, the air itself rippled. Kakashi dodged. the shockwave passing inches from his face. Both of them froze. What? Kakashi said slowly. Was that? I'm so screwed. I don't know, Naruto said honestly. It just happens sometimes, since the Mizuki incident. That's not possible. You can't just spontaneously develop advanced taijutsu techniques. Kakashi's eye had gone sharp, calculating. Unless... He moved faster than Naruto could track, hand seals blurring together in a sequence that made the air taste like static. Naruto's battle compass screamed danger, not physical danger, but something else. Something that would see too much, know too much. Kakashi's hand pressed against Naruto's forehead. Chakra analysis technique. The world went white. Naruto felt Kakashi's chakra flowing into him, not attacking, just analyzing, reading the flow of energy through his coils like someone reading a book. He's going to find the Nine Tails. He's going to see the seal and freak out But that wasn't what happened. Kakashi's chakra touched the seal. Naruto felt it, a brief pressure against the cage that held the Nine Tails, and then moved on, like the fox was expected. Known, right? Kakashi is Jonin. He knows about the Nine Tails. Everyone Jonin level and above knows I'm the container. But Kakashi's chakra didn't stop at the seal. It kept moving, deeper, touching places in Naruto's consciousness that even Naruto didn't fully understand yet. Touching. No. No. Don't look there. Too late. Naruto felt the exact moment when Kakashi's analytical chakra brushed against the memories. The dreams, the fragments of a life lived 200 years ago, the soul-deep knowledge of techniques that shouldn't exist in this world. Kakashi's hand jerked away like he'd been burned. Both of them stood frozen in the clearing, staring at each other. Naruto's heart hammered against his ribs. Kakashi's visible eye had gone very wide. What are you? The Jonin whispered. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. The words came out desperate. I'm just me. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where these techniques come from, or why I remember things I shouldn't, or... Your chakra system is normal. Your seal is intact. The Nine Tails isn't influencing you. Kakashi spoke slowly, like he was working through a puzzle. But there's something else. Something layered beneath your consciousness. Memories that don't match your age. Combat experience from somewhere else. He knows. Oh God, he knows. I'm not dangerous, Naruto said quickly. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I just want to be a ninja. I just want... Breathe. Kakashi's voice had gentled. I'm not going to report you or lock you up, Naruto, but I need you to tell me the truth. All of it, starting with where these techniques come from. Naruto's throat closed up. How was he supposed to explain this? That he was the reincarnation of a demon from another world? That he carried 200 years of murder and regret in his soul? That every time he closed his eyes, he saw a life that wasn't his but was becoming his more every day? If I tell him, he'll think I'm crazy. Or possessed. Or dangerous. But if I don't tell him, he'll assume the worst. I don't think I'm just Naruto Uzumaki, he said finally, voice barely above a whisper. I think I'm someone else too, someone who died a long time ago, and his memories, his techniques, they're waking up inside me. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I can't make it stop. Kakashi studied him for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, the Jonin nodded. Reincarnation, he said thoughtfully. It's rare, but not unheard of. The sage of Six Paths believed souls could carry across lifetimes, especially if they had unfinished business. His visible eye softened slightly. Is that what's happening to you? Are you remembering a past life? Yes, oh God, yes, that's exactly what's happening. I think so, Naruto said. The dreams started about a month ago, and they keep getting stronger, more real. And my body, it knows things, moves in ways I never learned. Like someone else is teaching me from inside my own head. Does it hurt? The question was gentler than Naruto expected. No, not physically, but... He struggled to find words. The person I was before, he wasn't a good person. He killed a lot of people, and I'm scared that if I keep using his techniques, if I keep letting his instincts take over, I'm going to become him instead of me. Kakashi was quiet for several heartbeats. Then he did something unexpected. He reached out and ruffled Naruto's hair, his touch surprisingly warm despite the fingerless gloves. You know what I think? The Jonin said. I think you're handling an impossible situation better than most people would. You're 12 years old with combat experience from another life bleeding into yours, and you're still choosing to protect people instead of hurt them. That says more about who you are than any inherited memories could. Really? Really? Kakashi pulled his hand back. But we're going to need to report this to the Hokage. He needs to know what's happening with you, for your safety and the village's. Fear spiked through Naruto's chest. Will he think I'm dangerous? Hiruzen? No, the old man sees potential in everyone, even when they can't see it themselves. Kakashi's eye curved into a smile. Besides, he's always had a soft spot for you. This isn't going to change that. Lord Third, the only Hokage I've ever known. The old man who checks on me sometimes and makes sure I have enough money for food. He'll understand. He has to understand. But first, Kakashi continued, we need to finish this test. Naruto blinked. The test is still happening? Did you think one emotional revelation would get you out of being evaluated? Kakashi pulled out his book again. You've still got until noon to get these bells, and your teammates are still out of commission. Right. Sakura was unconscious from Genjutsu. Sasuke was groaning on the ground from the 1,000 years of death. Great. Just great. I'm supposed to pass a test designed for teamwork when my team is disabled, and I just revealed I'm possibly possessed by a dead demon's soul. This day cannot get worse. Oh, and Naruto? Kakashi added cheerfully. Now that I know what you're capable of, I'm not going to hold back as much. Consider this your real evaluation. Show me what that past life taught you, but show me you're still you while doing it. The Jonin vanished in a swirl of leaves. Naruto stood alone in the clearing, heart hammering, mind racing. Okay, he knows. But he's not freaking out. He's not calling Anbu to arrest me. He's just testing me. I can work with that. I can prove that Naruto Uzumaki is still Naruto Uzumaki, even with AKAZA's memories in my head. His battle compass pinged. Kakashi was moving through the trees, circling around, getting into position for another attack. And this time, the Jonin's presence felt different, more focused, like he'd stopped playing and started actually evaluating. Time to show him what I've got. Naruto's body shifted into that familiar stance, weight balanced, center low, fists raised. But this time he let it happen consciously. Chose it. Made it his, instead of something being forced on him. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I've got AKAZA's techniques and memories. But I'm going to use them my way. For protection, for proving myself, not for murder. Let's do this. He charged into the forest, following the pull of Kakashi's presence, ready to show his new teacher exactly what the combination of Naruto's determination and AKAZA's skill could accomplish. Behind him, Sasuke was pulling himself to his feet, Sharingan activating unconsciously in response to the overwhelming presence he could feel radiating from their battle. And in the trees, Kakashi smiled behind his mask. This is going to be interesting. The forest exploded into motion. Naruto ducked under a kunai that whistled past his ear, rolled left to avoid the barrage of shuriken that followed, and came up running. His battle compass screamed constant warnings. Kakashi was everywhere and nowhere, his presence flickering through the trees like a ghost made of killing intent. He's fast. Really fast. Way faster than I can track with my eyes. But the compass didn't need eyes. Naruto felt the spike of intent behind him and dove forward. A kunai embedded itself in the tree trunk where his head had been a heartbeat earlier. Good. Kakashi's voice drifted from multiple directions at once. Your sensing is exceptional, but sensing isn't enough. 3 Kakashis appeared in the clearing, one in front, one behind, one above. Shadow clones? No, the presences were wrong, too hollow, too empty. After images. He's moving so fast I'm seeing multiple positions at once. The real Kakashi's presence pulsed from the left. Naruto pivoted, fist already moving in that direction before his conscious mind caught up. His punch cut through empty air as Kakashi blurred away. But Naruto was already following. Body moving through combinations that 200 years of combat experience had burned into muscle memory. Left jab to create distance, right hook to probe defenses, spinning kick to... Kakashi caught his ankle mid-kick. Your form is excellent, the Jonin said, conversationally, as if he wasn't holding a Genin's leg in midair. But you're predictable. Each technique flows logically from the last. Beautiful to watch, but easy to counter once I understand the pattern. He twisted. Naruto went with the momentum instead of fighting it. Another instinct from AKAZA, using Kakashi's throw to launch himself into a backflip that carried him out of immediate range. He landed in a crouch, breathing hard, reassessing. He's right. I'm following the forms too rigidly. AKAZA fought the same opponents over and over, demons with predictable patterns. But Kakashi is different. He adapts. He's already downloaded my entire fighting style just from watching me for 30 seconds. I need to be unpredictable. Naruto. He glanced up to see Sasuke in the tree branches, Sharingan blazing red. The Uchiha's eyes were locked on Kakashi with intensity that made the air feel heavier. When did he activate that? His movements are too fast for you to track normally, Sasuke called down, but I can see them with my Sharingan. I'll call out his position. It was the first time Sasuke had offered to work with him instead of against him. Teamwork, right? That's what this test is really about. Where's Sakura? Naruto shouted back. Still down. The genjutsu was stronger than expected. Sasuke's jaw tightened. It's just us. Kakashi tilted his head, considering them. Teamwork. That's better, but you're still missing something fundamental. He vanished again. Above you, Sasuke shouted. Naruto looked up to see Kakashi dropping from the canopy, hands already forming seals, too close to dodge. Too fast to... No. I can do this. I just need to. His body moved on instinct, arms crossing in front of his face as chakra or something like it gathered in his muscles. Not the fox's red chakra. Something else. Something that felt older, more refined, more his. Destructive death. Disorder. The words fell from his lips and the world shifted. Suddenly, Naruto could see it, not with his eyes, but with that sixth sense that had awakened this morning. Kakashi's fighting spirit wasn't just a vague presence anymore. It was a tangible thing, visible as a pattern of intent and motion, showing exactly where the Jonin was going to be before he got there. A compass needle in Naruto's mind spun and locked onto Kakashi's trajectory. There. Naruto sidestepped. Kakashi's kick cut through the space where Naruto's head had been, and for a split second, the Jonin's visible eye widened in genuine surprise. You predicted that, Kakashi said as he landed. Not reacted. Predicted. How? I can feel your fighting spirit. The words came out automatically, like Naruto was reading from a script written in his bones. Your intent to attack. It's like a compass pointing to where you're going to strike before you do it. That's not possible. I'm masking my killing intent. You shouldn't be able to. Kakashi cut himself off, eye narrowing. That's from your past life, an ability unique to whoever you were before. Yeah. Naruto shifted his stance, feeling more confident now. His name was AKAZA, and he could read fighting spirit like other people read books. AKAZA, Kakashi tested the name. Never heard of it. Where was he from? A completely different world where demons and demon slayers fought for survival. But I can't exactly explain that right now. Somewhere far away, Naruto said vaguely. And he's dead. I'm what's left. We'll discuss it more later. Kakashi pulled out the bells, jingling them. Right now, show me what you and Sasuke can do working together. You've got 20 minutes until noon. He disappeared into the trees. Sasuke dropped from his branch, landing beside Naruto with Sharingan still active. The tomoe in his eyes spun slowly as he studied Naruto with uncomfortable intensity. That technique, the Uchiha said quietly, the one you just used. I couldn't copy it with my Sharingan. There were no hand seals, no chakra molding. It was pure physical manipulation. His expression was unreadable. What are you? Here we go again. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said firmly. I've just got weird circumstances. Long story. Not important right now. It's very important. We've got 20 minutes to get those bells or we both fail. Naruto cut him off. Can we fight now and argue about my weird abilities later? Sasuke's jaw tightened, but he nodded. Fine, but you owe me answers after this. Deal. Naruto closed his eyes, focusing on his battle compass. Kakashi's presence pulsed from 3 different locations, either clones or more after images. He's watching us from the northeast, 50 yards out, waiting to see what we do. You can pinpoint his location that accurately? Yeah, it's part of the thing. Naruto opened his eyes. Your Sharingan can copy his movements. My compass can predict them. If we work together, we might actually have a chance. Sasuke's expression shifted into something that might have been respect. All right, here's what we do. For the next 5 minutes, they planned. It was strange, working with Sasuke instead of competing with him. Strange, but also good. Like pieces clicking into place. This is what teamwork feels like. This is what Kakashi wanted us to figure out. Ready? Sasuke asked. Naruto grinned. Believe it. They moved. Kakashi watched the two Genin approach from his position in the trees, genuinely curious about what they'd come up with. The Uzumaki kid was fascinating, carrying the nine-tailed seal, plus memories from a past life that included advanced combat techniques. The psychological stress alone should have broken him. Instead, he was adapting, integrating the foreign memories while maintaining his own personality. Resilient. Very resilient. And the Uchiha was exactly what Kakashi expected. Brilliant, driven, traumatized. The Sharingan had awakened earlier than it should have, probably from the stress of the massacre. He'd need watching, guidance, someone who understood what carrying hatred felt like. Someone like me. The two Genin burst from opposite sides of the clearing simultaneously. Sasuke came in high, kunai in one hand, wire in the other, already setting up a trap. Naruto came in low, pure taijutsu, fists raised, moving with that eerie efficiency that marked his inherited combat style. Good coordination. They planned this. Kakashi dodged Sasuke's kunai, cut the wire before it could tangle him, and moved to counter. His instincts screamed warning. He twisted mid-motion as Naruto's fist cut through the space his kidney had occupied a split second earlier. The Genin wasn't where Kakashi expected him to be, wasn't moving the way the Jonin had predicted. He adapted, changed his pattern, became unpredictable. Sasuke, now! Naruto shouted. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu! Multiple small fireballs erupted from Sasuke's mouth, each one hiding a shuriken in its core. Classic Uchiha technique, beautiful, efficient, and deadly if you didn't see it coming. Kakashi was already moving, but wait, the shuriken trajectories are wrong. They're not aimed at me. They're aimed at the wires. The shuriken embedded themselves in the trees around the clearing, and Kakashi realized too late that Sasuke's first wire wasn't a failed trap. It was the setup for a web of wires that now surrounded him on three sides, limiting his movement options. Got you, Sasuke said with grim satisfaction. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. Close, but not quite. He formed a single hand seal, and smoke exploded outward. When it cleared, a log sat where Kakashi had been standing, substitution jutsu, the most basic escape technique. But where had he? Behind you. Naruto's battle compass had already located him. Sasuke spun, Sharingan tracking Kakashi's real position emerging from underground. Earth-style, headhunter jutsu, designed to drag opponents beneath the surface. But the Uchiha was ready. His hands blurred through seals. Fire-style fireball jutsu. The massive flame forced Kakashi to abandon the attack and retreat. The Jonin appeared 20 feet away, clothes slightly singed. Impressive, Kakashi admitted. You're actually making me work. That's rare for fresh Genin. We're not done yet, Naruto said. His eyes had that strange, distant look, like he was seeing something beyond the physical. I can feel your intent changing. You're about to. Kakashi blurred. Multiple Kakashis appeared throughout the clearing. Shadow clones this time, not after images. All of them charged simultaneously. Scatter, Sasuke shouted. But Naruto didn't scatter. His body had already moved, flowing between the clones with movements that shouldn't be possible. Ducking, weaving, striking. Each punch dispersed a clone in a puff of smoke. Each kick bought him another second of survival. He's not predicting anymore, he's reacting on pure instinct. Combat experience from that past life taking over. Kakashi appeared behind Naruto, kunai pressed to his throat. Dead, the Jonin said simply. But Naruto's body twisted impossibly, muscles moving in ways that human joints shouldn't allow, and suddenly he was out of the hold. His elbow driving toward Kakashi's face with enough force to... Kakashi caught the strike. Barely. That would have broken my nose, he observed. You're not holding back anymore. You said to come at you with intent to kill. Naruto's voice had changed slightly, deeper, older, carrying weight it shouldn't. So I'm not holding back. For a moment, Kakashi could see it. The ghost of whoever Naruto used to be, superimposed over the 12-year-old's features. Someone who'd fought thousands of battles. Someone who'd perfected violence as an art form. He's dangerous. Not now, but if those memories fully integrate without proper guidance... Sasuke, Naruto called out. Combination attack, like we practiced. They practiced? When? They've been separated for... Oh, they'd coordinated while Kakashi was evaluating their individual skills. Smart. Sasuke appeared from the trees already mid-technique. Fire-style Phoenix Flower. Multiple fireballs streaked toward Kakashi's position. At the same time, Naruto charged from the opposite direction, fists raised, that telltale shimmer of compressed air gathering around his knuckles. They're trying to pin me between fire and physical attacks, force me to choose which threat to prioritize. Kakashi formed hand seals. Water-style water wall. The wall of water erupted from the ground, dousing Sasuke's flames, but that left him exposed to destructive death. Air type. Naruto's punch connected with air 3 feet from Kakashi's chest. The shockwave was stronger this time, not strong enough to seriously hurt a Jonin, but strong enough to force Kakashi back several steps, strong enough to disrupt his balance for a critical second. Sasuke burst through the dissipating water, hand outstretched, and there, dangling from his fingers, were the 2 bells. Silence. All 3 of them stood frozen, Sasuke holding the bells clean. Naruto staring in disbelief, Kakashi looking genuinely surprised for the first time that morning. "I'll be damned," the Jonin said slowly. "You actually got them." We did it?" Naruto's voice cracked. "We actually did it? When did you?" Kakashi patted his empty pouch, then laughed. "The water wall. You used my own technique to create cover, then moved in while I was focused on Naruto's attack. Very clever." Sasuke's expression was carefully neutral, but Kakashi could see the satisfaction in his eyes. "You said we needed to work together, so we did." "But there are only 2 bells," Sakura's voice called from the edge of the clearing. She was awake, apparently, and had been watching. "That means one of us still fails." The 3 Genin looked at each other. "Naruto should get one," Sasuke said immediately, surprising everyone. His ability to sense position made the strategy possible. "Sasuke's the one who actually took the bells," Naruto countered. "He should get both." "That's stupid. You did most of the fighting. You did the planning." "You..." "Stop," Kakashi interrupted. "You're both wrong, and both right." He pulled out a 3rd bell from his pocket, this one slightly different, bronze instead of silver. The real test wasn't getting the bells, it was deciding what to do once you had them. Kakashi's visible eye curved into a smile. "You both just proved you value teamwork over individual success. That's what I was looking for." "So, we passed?" Sakura asked hesitantly. "All 3 of you passed. Sakura, you broke my genjutsu faster than expected. That takes mental fortitude. Sasuke, your tactical thinking and sharing and make you a valuable asset. And Naruto," Kakashi's expression softened, "you're going to need a lot of specialized training to manage your situation, but you've got the heart of a real ninja. That counts for something." Naruto felt something tight in his chest loosen. "Really? We're really Team 7? Really?" Kakashi pulled out his book again. "Meet me here tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We'll discuss mission assignments and training schedules. And Naruto, you and I need to visit the Hokage. Today." The tightness came back. "Is that bad?" "No. Just necessary." Kakashi's voice was gentle. "Lord Third needs to know what's happening with you, for your protection and the village's. But I'll be there with you. I won't let anything happen to you. He won't let anything happen to me." The words settled over Naruto like a warm blanket. Someone was on his side, someone powerful, experienced, who'd seen what he could do and decided he was worth protecting anyway. "Maybe this will be okay. Maybe I can make this work." "Dismissed," Kakashi said. "Go home, rest, eat something. You've earned it." Sasuke left immediately, hands in his pockets, already distant again despite their successful teamwork. Sakura hurried after him, calling his name. Naruto stayed behind, watching them go. "You handled that well," Kakashi said quietly. "Using those techniques deliberately instead of letting them control you. That's harder than it looks." "It doesn't feel like I'm controlling them," Naruto admitted. "It feels like I'm negotiating with myself, trying to find middle ground between who I am and who I was. That's normal for reincarnation cases. The soul carries memories, but the new life has its own personality." Kakashi closed his book. "The key is integration, not suppression. You can't pretend the past life didn't happen, but you also can't let it overwrite who you are now." "How do you know so much about this?" "I've seen a lot in my career. Stranger things than reincarnation." Kakashi ruffled Naruto's hair. "Come on, let's go see the old man. The sooner we explain your situation, the sooner we can figure out a training plan." They walked through the village together, student and teacher, both carrying ghosts, both trying to figure out how to move forward. The Hokage's office was exactly as Naruto remembered. Walls lined with filing cabinets, large desk covered in paperwork, and the old man himself sitting behind it all, looking tired but warm. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, looked up when they entered. His eyes crinkled with genuine pleasure when he saw Naruto. "Naruto, I heard you passed your Jonin test. Congratulations." Then his gaze sharpened slightly. Though Kakashi's message said there was something important we needed to discuss? "Lord Third," Kakashi bowed slightly, "we need to talk about Naruto's recent developments." For the next 20 minutes, they explained everything. The dreams, the memories, the combat techniques that shouldn't exist, the battle compass ability. Naruto watched the Hokage's expression carefully, trying to read whether he was about to be locked up or worse. But Hiruzen just listened, occasionally asking questions, his expression thoughtful rather than alarmed. "I see," the old man said when they finished. "Kakashi, what's your assessment?" "The memories are real. I confirmed it with the chakra analysis. There's something layered beneath his consciousness that doesn't match his age or experience. But it's not possession, it's reincarnation. The soul remembering its past life." "And you believe he's not dangerous?" "He's had these abilities for weeks and hasn't hurt anyone except a traitor who was actively threatening his teacher." Kakashi's voice was firm. "He's scared of becoming a monster, which means he won't become one. Real monsters don't worry about that." Hiruzen turned his attention to Naruto. "Is this true? You're afraid of these memories?" "Yes, sir." Naruto's voice came out small. "The person I was before, AKAZA, he killed hundreds of people, maybe thousands. He forgot what it meant to be human, and I'm scared that if I'm not careful, I'll forget too." The Hokage was quiet for a long moment. Then he did something unexpected. He came around the desk and placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, the touch warm and solid and reassuring. "Do you know what I see when I look at you, Naruto?" Hiruzen's voice was gentle. "I see a boy who's dealt with more pain and isolation than most adults could handle. A boy who carries the nine tails and now memories from a past life, and despite all of that, he still wants to protect people. Still dreams of being Hokage. Still chooses compassion over hatred. But what if I mess up? What if I hurt someone? Then you'll learn from it and do better next time. That's what being human is, making mistakes and choosing to grow from them." Hiruzen squeezed his shoulder. "The very fact that you're worried about this tells me you're going to be fine. AKAZA may have forgotten his humanity, but you haven't, and you won't." The words cracked something open in Naruto's chest. He felt tears burning in his eyes and tried to blink them back. "Thank you," he whispered. "Now then." Hiruzen returned to his desk, his demeanor shifting to something more official. "We'll need to set up specialized training for you. Kakashi, I'm assigning you as Naruto's primary mentor for integrating these abilities. You have experience with unusual circumstances." "Understood. We'll also need to keep this information classified. Only Jonin level and above need to know about the reincarnation. Naruto, you're free to tell your teammates if you choose, but I'd recommend waiting until you trust them completely." "Yes, sir." "And Naruto?" The Hokage's expression softened. "Your past life's name was AKAZA, but your name is Naruto Uzumaki. Don't ever forget which one matters more." They left the Hokage Tower an hour later, after signing paperwork and establishing training schedules and answering 100 more questions. The sun was starting to set, painting Konoha in shades of orange and gold. Kakashi walked Naruto to the edge of the administrative district, then paused. "You did good today," the Jonin said. "With the test, with the Hokage, with all of it. Most people would have crumbled under that pressure." "I almost did," Naruto admitted. "During the fight, when I was using AKAZA's techniques, it felt good. Like I was meant to do that. Like combat was the only thing that made sense." He looked down at his hands. "That scares me." "It should scare you. Fear keeps us honest." Kakashi pulled out his book, but didn't open it. "But here's something you should know. Enjoying combat doesn't make you a monster. Lots of ninja enjoy the adrenaline, the challenge, the test of skills. What matters is why you fight and what you do with that strength. AKAZA fought because he forgot everything else. I need to fight for something different. You already do. You fought today to pass the test, to protect your teammates, to prove yourself." Kakashi's eye curved into a smile. "That's worlds apart from fighting just to fight. I hope you're right. I usually am. It's annoying. Kakashi finally opened his book. Go home, Naruto. Rest. Tomorrow we start real training. And trust me, you're going to need your strength. He vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving Naruto alone in the street. Alone, but not as isolated as usual. He had a team now. A teacher who knew his secret and chose to help anyway. A Hokage who believed in him. It wasn't much, but it was more than he'd had yesterday. I can make this work, Naruto thought as he walked home. I can be both, Naruto Uzumaki and AKAZA's second chance. I can use his strength without losing my humanity. I just have to keep choosing to be human, every single day. That's what Keizo told Hakuji, all those years ago. The past doesn't define us. Our choices do. So I'll make better choices than AKAZA did. I'll be better than he was. I'll be me. The resolution felt stronger this time. Less desperate, more determined. Naruto made it home as darkness fell over the village, climbed into bed still wearing his jumpsuit, and for the first time in weeks, slept without nightmares. And deep in his mindscape, behind the seal that held the Nine Tails, Kurama watched with interest. The Kit had finally stopped fighting himself. Things were about to get interesting. 2 weeks passed in a blur of D-rank missions and training. Team 7 fell into a rhythm. Meet at 7 a.m., suffer through whatever menial task the mission desk assigned them, train until sunset, go home exhausted. Retrieve cats, pull weeds, paint fences, help elderly villagers move furniture. It was mind-numbing work that made Naruto want to scream, but it was also normal. Safe. The kind of ordinary ninja life that didn't require him to tap into memories of murder or combat techniques from a past life. Just him, Sasuke, and Sakura doing boring work under Kakashi's watchful eye. This is good. This is good, Naruto told himself for the 20th time that week. This is what I wanted. Normal ninja missions. Normal team dynamics. Normal. This is ridiculous. Sakura's voice cut through his thoughts. We're ninja. We should be doing real missions, not chasing cats. They stood in the mission room having just completed their 8th cat retrieval of the week. Tora the cat, a demon in feline form, had left all 3 of them scratched and bleeding. Again. You're Genin, Iruka said from behind the mission desk, not unsympathetically. This is what Genin do. You build experience with low-risk missions before taking on anything dangerous. But we passed Kakashi's test, Naruto burst out. Doesn't that count for something? It counts for you getting more cat retrieval missions. Iruka smiled slightly. Welcome to being a ninja. Lord Hokage. Kakashi's lazy voice cut through the growing argument. With respect, my team is ready for something more challenging. Perhaps a C-rank escort mission? Hiruzen, who'd been quietly reviewing mission scrolls, looked up with interest. You think they're ready, Kakashi? They work well together. They've mastered basic teamwork, and they need a challenge before they get complacent. Kakashi's visible eye curved. Besides, Naruto's special circumstances require field experience sooner rather than later. Controlled exposure to real missions will help him develop properly. Special circumstances. Right. My dead demon soul that might turn me into a murder machine if I don't learn to control it properly. Hiruzen studied Team 7 for a long moment. Naruto practically vibrating with eagerness. Sasuke trying to look disinterested but clearly paying attention. Sakura looking determined despite the cat scratches covering her arms. Very well, the Hokage said finally. I have a C-rank escort mission. Tazuna, you can come in now. The door opened to reveal an old man with a bottle in one hand and a scowl on his face. He looked Team 7 up and down with obvious skepticism. These are ninja? Tazuna's words slurred slightly. They look like kids playing dress-up, especially the short blonde one with the stupid look on his face. Hey, Naruto bristled. I'm not stupid looking, and I'm a great ninja, believe it? Sure you are, kid. Tazuna took a swig from his bottle. Well, whatever. My name's Tazuna. I'm a bridge builder, and I'm being targeted by a very dangerous man. I need protection while I complete the bridge in the Land of Waves. Targeted? Kakashi's tone sharpened. This should be a B-rank mission at minimum if there's combat involved. I can only afford C-rank. Tazuna looked away. The Land of Waves is poor. If I don't complete this bridge, we'll never break free from... He cut himself off. Look, I need protection getting home. Are you taking the mission or not? Hiruzen glanced at Kakashi, who nodded almost imperceptibly. Very well, the Hokage said. Team 7, you'll escort Tazuna to the Land of Waves and ensure his safety until the bridge is complete. Estimated mission length, 2 weeks. Yes! Naruto pumped his fist. Finally! A real mission. Sasuke just nodded, but Naruto could feel the spike in his presence, excitement carefully hidden beneath Uchiha composure. Meet at the village gates in 1 hour, Kakashi instructed. Pack for 2 weeks. Bring extra kunai and shuriken. This is your first real mission, so don't take it lightly. Naruto made it home in 15 minutes, threw supplies into a backpack with the efficiency of someone who'd done this thousands of times before. Wait, I haven't done this before. This is my first mission outside the village. But AKAZA's memories know what to pack for travel, know how to prepare for potential combat, know. He shook his head, forcing the thoughts away. My hands, my choices. I'm using his knowledge, but I'm still me. The hour passed quickly. Naruto arrived at the gates to find Sasuke already there, pack perfectly organized, looking like he'd been standing there for hours. Sakura showed up 5 minutes later, slightly out of breath but ready. Kakashi and Tazuna were the last to arrive. All right, Kakashi said, his usual lazy demeanor in place. Standard escort formation. Tazuna in the middle. I'll take point. Sasuke, left flank. Sakura, right flank. Naruto, rear guard. Why do I get stuck in the back? Naruto protested. Because your sensing ability makes you perfect for detecting threats from behind. Kakashi's eye curved. It's the most important position, actually. Trust me. My sensing ability. Right. The battle compass that lets me feel people's fighting spirit. Naruto hadn't told Sasuke or Sakura about the reincarnation yet. As far as they knew, he just had really good instincts. Kakashi had advised keeping it that way until the team had built stronger bonds. But they're going to figure it out eventually. Especially Sasuke with his Sharingan. He's already suspicious. They set out, leaving Konoha's gates behind. The road stretched ahead, winding through forest and countryside toward the distant Land of Waves. For the first hour, nothing happened. Just walking. The team maintained formation. Tazuna complained about the pace, and Kakashi read his book without looking up once. This is boring, Naruto thought. We're on a real mission and it's just as boring as the cat retrievals. Then his battle compass pinged. 2 presences ahead, hidden, waiting. Both carried killing intent like a physical weight, not massive, but present. Sharp, dangerous. Chunin level maybe. Definitely hostile. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said quietly, there's something ahead, in the puddle on the left side of the road. Everyone froze. What puddle? Sakura looked around. I don't see. Oh, there was indeed a puddle on the road. Strange, considering it hadn't rained in days and the rest of the path was completely dry. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed, but he kept walking. Good catch, Naruto. Everyone stay alert. They passed the puddle. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the water exploded. 2 figures burst from the puddle, both wearing gas masks and breathing apparatus, both wielding a wicked chain with clawed gauntlets on each end. The chain wrapped around Kakashi before anyone could react, and the 2 ninja pulled. Kakashi's body shredded into pieces. Sensei, Sakura screamed. 1 down, the first ninja said. His voice was cold, mechanical. 3 genin and the target left. They charged. Naruto's body moved before his mind caught up, pure instinct taking over. AKAZA's combat experience flooding his muscles with knowledge of exactly how to respond to this threat. 2 opponents. Chain weapon, 10-foot range. They'll try to disable us quickly before moving on to Tazuna. Standard assassination pattern. The first ninja's chain whipped toward Naruto's throat. He ducked under it, body flowing like water, already inside the attacker's guard. His fist drove toward the ninja's solar plexus with enough force to... Wait. Stop. Don't kill him. Naruto pulled the punch at the last second, turning what would have been a killing blow into a hard shove that sent the ninja stumbling backward. Naruto, what are you doing? Sasuke had engaged the second ninja, Sharingan blazing. Take them down. I'm trying not to kill them. They're trying to kill us. The first ninja recovered, chain already swinging again. This time, Naruto didn't hesitate. He grabbed the chain mid-swing, his grip strong enough to stop its momentum completely. Wait, how did I? The ninja looked as surprised as Naruto felt. A 12-year-old shouldn't have the grip strength to stop a chain weapon being swung by a Chunin. But AKAZA's body control meant Naruto knew exactly how to position his hand, exactly how much force to apply. exactly how to use leverage and timing to turn an opponent's strength against them. Got you, Naruto muttered. He yanked. The ninja flew forward, pulled off balance. Naruto's knee came up, catching him in the stomach. Not hard enough to cause serious damage, but hard enough to knock the wind out of him. The ninja crumpled. One down, Naruto called out. Make that two, Sasuke said. He stood over the second ninja, who was unconscious with a kunai pressed to his throat. Who sent you? The ninja just glared. They won't talk. Kakashi's voice came from the trees. Professional assassins don't break easily. All three Genin spun to find their sensei sitting on a branch, completely unharmed, still reading his book. You're alive! Sakura's voice was shrill. We saw you get torn apart. Substitution jutsu. I used it the moment I sensed killing intent. Kakashi closed his book, eye curving. Good job, all of you. Naruto detected the ambush. Sasuke adapted quickly, and Sakura... He paused. Well, you didn't freeze completely. That's progress. Sakura looked mortified. These are the demon brothers, Kakashi continued, dropping from the tree to examine the unconscious ninja. Missing nin from the village hidden in the mist, Chunin level. They're known for working for whoever pays the most. He turned to Tazuna, and the temperature seemed to drop several degrees. Which means this mission was never C rank. Someone wants you dead badly enough to hire ninja assassins. Care to explain, Tazuna? The old bridge builder had gone pale. I may have understated the danger. You think? Kakashi's voice carried an edge Naruto had never heard before. My team is fresh Genin. If I hadn't been here, they could have died. So start talking, or we're heading back to Konoha right now. Tazuna took a shaky breath. There's a man named Gato. He's a shipping magnate who's taken control of the Land of Waves through monopoly and fear. The bridge I'm building will break his control, give us a direct connection to the mainland that he can't tax or manipulate. So he's trying to stop me. Permanently. And you lied about the mission rank because you couldn't afford the proper rate, Kakashi finished. I'm sorry, but my country is suffering if I don't complete this bridge. People will die, I understand. Kakashi looked at his team. What do you three think? Do we continue or turn back? Continue, Sasuke said immediately. We can handle it. We should help him, Naruto added. If we turn back now, he'll die. I guess we should keep going, Sakura said hesitantly. But sensei, if it's more dangerous than we thought, then I'll handle the serious threats while you three gain experience. Kakashi's eye curved again. But fair warning, if we continue, we're likely to face more enemy ninja, possibly Jonin level. Everyone okay with that? Jonin level. Real combat. The kind of fight where AKAZA's instincts would be useful. Where I'd need to use his techniques or risk dying. Am I ready for that? I'm ready, Naruto said, trying to sound more confident than he felt. They continued toward the Land of Waves. The journey took 3 days. They traveled cautiously, Kakashi's demeanor shifting from lazy to alert. The demon brothers had been secured and would be dealt with by Konoha Anbu later, but their presence meant more trouble was coming. Naruto spent the journey paying attention to his battle compass, feeling for any presence that might indicate another ambush. The constant vigilance was exhausting, but it kept his mind occupied. Better than thinking about what happens when we actually fight someone serious. They reached the coast by late afternoon on the 3rd day. A small boat waited at the dock, Tazuna's contact, a weathered sailor who looked nervous at the sight of ninja. We'll need to go by water from here, Tazuna explained. Gato has men watching all the roads. The boat will take us through the mist to my village. The boat ride was eerie. Thick fog rolled in as they left shore, reducing visibility to a few feet in any direction. The only sounds were the gentle lap of water and the creak of wood. Naruto's battle compass remained quiet. No threats, no presences except his team. Maybe the demon brothers were it? Maybe. His compass exploded with sensation. A presence was approaching through the mist, massive, refined, carrying killing intent so sharp and focused it felt like a physical blade pressed against Naruto's consciousness. Jonin. Definitely Jonin. Maybe higher. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto whispered. Something's coming. Something big. I feel it too. Kakashi's hand had moved to the kunai pouch at his hip. Everyone get down. They ducked low in the boat. The sailor had gone white, clearly sensing something wrong even without ninja training. A sword cut through the mist. Massive. easily as long as Naruto was tall. The blade spun through the air with deadly precision, aimed directly at Tazuna. It's aimed at Tazuna. Naruto's body moved without permission. He threw himself forward, hand raised, and I can't block a sword that size with my bare hand. I'll lose the arm. His palm met the flat of the blade. Instead of cutting through flesh, the sword stopped. Completely stopped. Naruto stared at his hand holding the massive blade in midair, his body locked in a stance he'd never learned, but his muscles remembered perfectly. AKAZA's body control, AKAZA's strength, AKAZA's absolute refusal to die in combat. What did I just do? Interesting, a voice rumbled from the mist. A Jin stopping Kubikira Bocho with his bare hand. You're either very skilled or very lucky. A figure emerged from the fog, tall, muscular, wearing camouflage pants and arm warmers with bandages covering the lower half of his face. His eyes were cold and calculating, the eyes of someone who'd killed hundreds and felt nothing doing it. Zabuza Momochi, Kakashi said quietly. The demon of the hidden mist, S-rank missing nin. This just got a lot more dangerous. Zabuza's eyes fixed on Naruto, who was still holding his sword. Let go of Kubikira Bocho, kid, before I take your arm off. Naruto released the blade and backpedaled to the team's position. His hand was shaking, not from fear, but from adrenaline, from the sick thrill of facing someone this strong. This is it. This is real combat. Life or death. This is what AKAZA lived for. Well, Zabuza pulled his sword back, resting it on his shoulder. Kakashi of the Sharingan. This will be fun. I haven't killed anyone famous in a while. Zabuza, your fight is with me. Kakashi had pulled up his headband, revealing a second eye, red with black tomoe spinning slowly. The Sharingan. Kids, protect Tazuna. Don't interfere no matter what happens. But sensei, Sakura started. That's an order. Zabuza laughed, the sound cold and metallic behind his bandages. Protecting the kids? How noble. But it won't matter. Once I kill you, they're next. He formed a single-hand seal. The mist thickened impossibly, becoming so dense Naruto couldn't see his hand in front of his face. His teammates' presences vanished from his normal senses, vision useless, hearing muffled, even smell dampened by the wet air. Hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. My specialty. In this mist, I'm invisible, untouchable, and your Sharingan is useless if you can't see me to copy my techniques. Naruto felt Kakashi's presence spike. The Jonin was moving, trying to track Zabuza through the mist. But Naruto's battle compass didn't need visibility. Zabuza's fighting spirit burned like a beacon in the fog, intense, focused, and currently positioning himself behind Tazuna for a killing blow. Behind us! Naruto shouted. Kakashi was already moving, appearing between Zabuza and Tazuna with a kunai raised. The clash of metal on metal rang out, and then both combatants vanished back into the mist. How did you know? Sasuke hissed. His Sharingan was active but useless in the thick fog. I couldn't see anything. I can feel him, Naruto whispered back. His presence, his intent to attack. It's like a compass pointing to where he's going to strike. That's impossible. But it's happening. Zabuza attacked again, this time from the right. Naruto felt the shift in his presence and called out the warning. Kakashi intercepted, again from the left. Again Naruto warned. Again Kakashi blocked. Annoying, Zabuza's voice growled through the mist. The blonde brat is tracking me somehow. Can't have that. His presence shifted, moving faster now, directly toward Naruto's position. He's coming for me. Going to take out the spotter before finishing the mission. Naruto's body shifted into a ready stance automatically. I can do this. I can fight him. AKAZA's techniques are perfect for this situation. Don't even think about it. Kakashi's voice was sharp. Naruto, stay with the team. That's an order. But Zabuza was already there, emerging from the mist with sword raised, moving faster than Naruto's eyes could track. His battle compass was faster. Naruto's body flowed sideways, the blade missing him by inches. His fist came up, aimed at Zabuza's exposed ribs, gathering that telltale shimmer of compressed air. Destructive death, air type. The shockwave erupted from his punch. Zabuza's eyes widened as the invisible force caught him center mass, sending him skidding backward through the mist. Silence. Then Zabuza started laughing. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. The missing nine's voice carried genuine delight. What are you, kid? That wasn't ninjutsu. That was pure physical force shaped like a jutsu. I've never seen anything like it. Kakashi appeared beside Naruto, Sharingan blazing. I told you not to engage. He was going to kill me. And you just revealed a unique technique to an enemy Jonin. Now he knows what you can do. Damn it. Kakashi's right. I just showed my hand without thinking. Doesn't matter, Zabuza said, his presence in the mist shifting to something more serious. Unique technique or not, you're still just a genin, and I'm... He stopped mid-sentence. Naruto felt it too, a new presence approaching through the mist. Smaller, lighter, but carrying refined killing intent that spoke of extensive training. A figure appeared beside Zabuza, shorter, wearing a hunter-nin mask and carrying senbon needles. Zabuza-san, the new arrival said in a soft, androgynous voice. The mist-tracking nin have found your location. We need to leave. Already? Zabuza sounded annoyed. I was just starting to have fun. Your contract with Gado doesn't include fighting Kakashi of the Sharingan and his unusual students to the death. We should retreat and plan properly. Zabuza was quiet for a moment, then laughed again. Fine. But kid, his attention focused on Naruto. That technique you used. That wasn't something a genin should know. You've got something interesting going on. Next time we meet, I want a real fight. Just you and me. Why would I? Because you want it too. Zabuza's voice carried certainty. I can see it in your eyes. That hunger for combat. That need to test yourself against someone strong. You're not like the other kids. You're like me. The words hit like a physical blow. No. I'm not like you. I'm not a missing nine. I'm not a killer. But he's right. Part of me did want that fight. Part of me still does. Until next time, Demon's Heir, Zabuza said. Then both he and the Hunter Nine vanished into the mist. The fog began to clear slowly, revealing the team standing on the boat, everyone breathing hard, Tazuna looking like he'd aged 10 years. What just happened? Sakura's voice was shaky. Did we win? No one won, Kakashi said quietly, his Sharingan still visible. Zabuza retreated because the odds weren't favorable. But he'll be back. And next time, he'll be prepared for our tricks. His visible eye focused on Naruto, including yours. We need to talk about that technique you used. Here it comes. The lecture about revealing abilities. About not following orders. About... That was quick thinking, Kakashi said, surprising him. If you hadn't warned us about his positions, Tazuna would be dead. And that punch, it bought us time to regroup. You did good. Really? Really. But Zabuza's right about one thing. You're not a normal genin. That technique of yours is Jonin level at minimum. We need to figure out its limits before the next fight. The boat reached shore a few minutes later. They made their way to Tazuna's house in tense silence, everyone processing what had just happened. My first real fight. And I held my own against an S-rank missing nin. AKAZA's techniques work. They're powerful, they're effective, and they feel so natural it scares me. Zabuza's words echoed in his head. You're like me. No, Naruto thought fiercely. I'm not. I'm not a killer. I'm not. But the hunger was still there, coiled in his gut, whispering that next time he'd get to really fight, really test himself, really see how far AKAZA's skills could take him. And that whisper terrified him more than any enemy ever could. Tazuna's house was small, but warm. Wooden floors worn smooth by years of use, a fireplace crackling in the main room, and the smell of home-cooked food drifting from the kitchen. A woman emerged as they entered, Tazuna's daughter, Tsunami. She was young, maybe in her 20s, with kind eyes that widened when she saw the blood and damage on their clothes. Father, what happened? Are you hurt? I'm fine, Tsunami. These ninja protected me. Tazuna gestured to Team 7. They'll be staying with us until the bridge is complete. A small boy peeked out from behind Tsunami's legs, maybe 8 years old, with dark hair and eyes that tried to look brave but couldn't quite hide the fear underneath. Are they really ninja? The boy asked. They don't look very strong, especially the short blonde one. Why does everyone keep calling me short? I'm plenty strong, Naruto protested. I just fought an S-rank missing nin. Did you win? Well, no, but I didn't lose either. That sounds like losing. Inari, be polite, Tsunami chided gently. These people are risking their lives to help us. The boy, Inari, just scowled and retreated to his room. I'm sorry, Tsunami said. He's been... difficult since his father died. He doesn't believe in heroes anymore. The pain in her voice was raw enough that Naruto felt it like a physical thing. His battle compass wasn't just for combat. It picked up on emotional intensity too. grief, loss, the kind of wound that never fully healed. His father died, just like Keizo died, killed by people who wanted to hurt the ones he loved. The memory rose unbidden, Hakuji finding the poisoned well, understanding what had happened, the moment when his humanity shattered, and he became something else. Naruto shook his head, forcing the past away. That's not me. That's not my memory. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm here to protect these people, not become another tragedy. We'll keep you safe, Naruto said to Tsunami. I promise, that's my ninja way. She smiled, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. Thank you, I'll make dinner. You must be exhausted. They gathered around the table an hour later. Team 7, Tazuna, Tsunami, and reluctantly, Inari. The food was simple but filling. Rice, fish, vegetables. The kind of meal that spoke of poverty but also care. So, Tazuna said around a mouthful of rice, that Zabuza guy. He's coming back, isn't he? Definitely, Kakashi confirmed. He'd pulled down his mask to eat, revealing a surprisingly normal face underneath. Zabuza's pride won't let him leave a job unfinished. He'll spend the next few days preparing, learning our abilities, planning a strategy. Which means we need to prepare too, Sasuke added. He'd been quiet since the boat fight, but his Sharingan-enhanced eyes kept drifting to Naruto, calculating, questioning. That technique Naruto used, that shockwave. What was that? All eyes turned to Naruto. Here we go, I can't keep hiding this from them forever. They're my team. They deserve to know. It's complicated, Naruto started. Complicated how? Sasuke pressed. That wasn't any technique taught at the academy, and the way you moved, you have formal training. Real combat experience. Where did it come from? Sasuke, that's enough, Kakashi started. No, it's okay. Naruto took a breath. Kakashi said I could tell them when I was ready, and after today, after Zabuza saw what I could do, they need to know. You remember how I barely passed the academy? Naruto said slowly. How I was always the dead last? Well, about a month ago, something changed. I started having dreams, memories that weren't mine, of someone else's life. Someone else's life? Sakura looked confused. Like, past life memories? Yeah, exactly that. Naruto stared at his rice, unable to meet their eyes. Their eye. The person I was before, his name was AKAZA. He was a fighter, a really, really good fighter. He lived for 200 years, and all he did was fight. Kill. Get stronger. Until he forgot everything else that mattered. Silence. That's impossible, Sasuke said finally. People don't live for 200 years. Normal people don't. But AKAZA wasn't normal. He was a demon. But I can't explain that without sounding completely insane. Something else. Something that shouldn't have existed. And when he died, somehow his soul ended up in me. And now his memories, his techniques, they're waking up. You're saying you're possessed? Sakura's voice had gone high. Not possessed. Reincarnated. Naruto finally looked up. I'm still me. Still Naruto. But I've got 200 years of combat experience from a past life bleeding into this one. The technique I used against Zabuza, Destructive Death, Air type, that's one of AKAZA's abilities. Pure physical force, no chakra required. The Hokage knows about this, Kakashi added. We've confirmed it through chakra analysis. It's legitimate reincarnation, not possession or manipulation. Naruto is still Naruto, just with additional memories. Sasuke's eyes had gone distant. That explains why your taijutsu improved so suddenly, why you can sense opponents without seeing them. You're accessing skills from a previous life. Yeah. Can you access all of his memories? All of his abilities? Not all at once. They come in fragments, dreams, instincts. The more I use them, the clearer they become. Naruto clenched his fists. But I'm scared that if I use them too much, I'll stop being me and start being him. AKAZA forgot what it meant to be human. I don't want that to happen to me. It won't, Kakashi said firmly. Because you're aware of the danger. Because you're choosing every day to be Naruto Uzumaki, not AKAZA. That choice matters. Does it? Naruto's voice came out smaller than he intended. Zabuza said I was like him, that I had the same hunger for combat, and he was right. When we were fighting, part of me wanted to keep going, wanted to test myself against him. Wanted. To see if you could win, Sasuke finished. That's not unusual. Every warrior wants to test themselves against worthy opponents. It's what drives us to get stronger. But what if it's more than that? What if it's AKAZA's obsession taking over? Then we'll stop you, Sakura said suddenly. Both boys turned to look at her in surprise. We're a team, right? That means we watch out for each other. If you start losing yourself, we'll pull you back. That's what teammates do. The words settled over Naruto like a warm blanket. They're not scared of me. They're not disgusted. They're just accepting this. Thank you, he whispered. Don't thank me yet, Sakura continued. You're still annoying and you still can't make a proper clone. Reincarnation or not, you're still the same Naruto who drives me crazy. Despite everything, Naruto laughed. So, Sasuke said, returning to his rice. These destructive death techniques, how many do you have? I'm not sure. At least 4 or 5 that I can remember clearly. The air type you saw. There's also a leg type for close combat. An annihilation type that's like maximum power. And something called disorder that lets me sense fighting spirit. That's how I tracked Zabuza through the mist. Can you teach them to us? Naruto blinked. What? If these techniques are that effective, and they don't require chakra, they'd be useful for the whole team. Can you teach them? I don't know, I've never tried. They're kind of instinctive for me. Naruto thought about it. Maybe, but they took AKAZA decades to perfect. I'm not sure they can be learned normally. We should at least try, Kakashi said. After dinner, we'll start training. Zabuza gave us a few days to prepare. We need to use them wisely. Inari, who'd been silent through the entire conversation, suddenly spoke up. You're all going to die. Everyone turned to look at him. Gato has an army. He controls everything in this country. You're just a few kids and one jonin. You can't win. The boy's voice was flat, emotionless. Heroes don't exist. My father thought he could change things and Gato killed him. You'll die just like he did. Inari! Tsunami's voice was sharp. It's the truth. The boy stood, tears in his eyes. Why do you think we're so poor? Why do you think no one fights back? Because Gato kills anyone who tries. And these ninja, they're just gonna get themselves killed trying to be heroes. He ran from the room. Tsunami looked mortified. I'm so sorry. He's been like this ever since. It's fine, Kakashi said gently. He's not wrong to be scared. Gato is dangerous. But that's exactly why we're here. To prove that heroes do exist. That people can fight back. And we will fight back, Naruto added. His hands had clenched into fists. Because that's what ninja do. We protect people. Even people who don't believe in us. Especially people who don't believe in us. Because AKAZA spent 200 years as a monster. And if I can use his power to be a hero instead, then maybe his death meant something. Maybe both our lives mean something. Training started that night in the forest behind Tazuna's house. First things first, Kakashi announced, chakra control. Naruto's techniques might not require chakra, but the rest of you need to improve your basics. So we're going to learn tree walking. He casually walked up the trunk of a nearby tree, defying gravity, until he was standing horizontal with his feet on the bark. The trick is channeling chakra to your feet. Too little, and you fall. Too much, and you push yourself away. You need perfect control to maintain the connection. Kakashi pulled out his book. Practice until you can run up, down, and across trees without thinking about it. This will improve your overall chakra control and give you better mobility in combat. Sasuke immediately started trying, making it about halfway up the trunk before his foot slipped and he fell. Sakura surprised everyone by making it 3/4 of the way on her first attempt. Excellent chakra control, Sakura, Kakashi praised. You've got a real talent for it. Really? Sakura beamed. Naruto stared at the tree, took a breath, and ran. His feet stuck to the bark perfectly. He made it to the top in seconds, his body remembering the principles even if his mind didn't fully understand them. Wait, how did I? AKAZA's body control, Kakashi called up. He probably had centuries of practice manipulating his physical abilities. Your body remembers how to maintain perfect balance and force application. Of course it does. Even something as simple as tree walking, AKAZA's instincts make it easy. Am I ever going to do anything that's just my skill? He pushed the thought away and focused on training. Over and over, up and down the trees, until the movement became second nature. After an hour, Kakashi called them down. Naruto, show them your techniques. Slowly. We need to understand how they work. Naruto moved to an open space, taking a ready stance. Okay, so the air type, the shockwave punch, it's about compressing air against your fist and releasing it all at once, like this. He demonstrated in slow motion, fist moving forward, the telltale shimmer gathering. There's no chakra? Sasuke's Sharingan was active, studying every detail. At all? None that I can feel. It's pure physical technique. Perfect timing, perfect angle, perfect force. Naruto released the punch, and a small shockwave rippled outward. The harder I push, the stronger the effect. That shouldn't be possible, Sasuke muttered. Physics doesn't work like that. Physics in AKAZA's world apparently did. I don't make the rules. I just use them. They spent the next hour trying to replicate it. Sasuke came closest. His Sharingan let him copy the physical motions perfectly, but without the century of body control that made it work, his punches just created mild air currents. It's frustrating, the Uchiha admitted. I can see exactly what you're doing, but I can't replicate it. Like watching someone paint a masterpiece, but not having the skill to copy it. Keep trying, Kakashi encouraged. Even if you can't master it, understanding the principles will help you work with Naruto better. They trained until midnight, then collapsed exhausted. Naruto lay in the guest room Tsunami had prepared, staring at the ceiling, too wired to sleep. 2 more days until Zabuza comes back. 2 more days to prepare. 2 more days before I have to fight for real. Am I ready? Can I use AKAZA's power without losing myself to it? His hands clenched into fists. I have to be ready, because people are counting on me. Tazuna, Tsunami, Inari, my team. I can't let them down, even if it means dancing on the edge of becoming a monster. Sleep finally came, bringing with it dreams of rain and snow and a girl with flowers in her hair, whispering words he couldn't quite hear but knew were important. Stay human, Hakuji. No matter what happens, stay human. The next 2 days passed in intense training. Kakashi pushed them hard. Tree walking evolved into water walking, which Naruto again mastered immediately, thanks to AKAZA's body control. Combat drills, where they worked on team coordination, and strategy sessions where they planned for the inevitable rematch with Zabuza. His hidden mist technique negates sight, Kakashi explained, which means we need to rely on other senses. Naruto's battle compass is our biggest advantage. He can track Zabuza's position even when visibility is 0, so the strategy should be built around that. I'll call out his positions, Naruto said. You all respond based on my warnings. What about the hunter nun who appeared? Sakura asked. The one with the mask? Unknown variable. Could be an ally, could be Zabuza's apprentice. We need to be ready for both. Kakashi closed his book, eye serious. But here's what's important. If things go bad, your priority is protecting Tazuna. Not fighting. Not being heroes. Keeping the client alive. Understood? They nodded. On the second day, Naruto ventured out alone to the bridge construction site, wanting to see what they were protecting. The bridge was massive, stretching across the water toward the mainland, still incomplete but already impressive. Workers moved across the structure, hammering, welding, building something that would change their country forever. Tazuna stood at the center, directing the work, his earlier drunkenness replaced by focused professionalism. Kid, he called when he spotted Naruto. Come to check on our progress? Yeah, it's really something. It's everything. Tazuna's voice was soft. This bridge represents hope, freedom, the ability to trade and travel without Gato controlling every aspect of our lives. It's why he wants me dead so badly, because I'm building the thing that will destroy his power. We won't let him stop you. You sound pretty confident for someone who almost died 2 days ago. Naruto grinned. I've died once already in a past life. I'm not planning on making it a habit this time around. Tazuna laughed. You're a weird kid, Naruto, but I'm glad you're here. They stood together watching the workers, and Naruto felt something settle in his chest. A sense of purpose that had nothing to do with AKAZA's hunger for combat and everything to do with protecting something worth protecting. This is what I'm fighting for. Not to test myself, not to prove I'm strong, but to protect people who can't protect themselves. That's the difference between me and AKAZA. That's what keeps me human. A presence pinged on his battle compass. Small, refined, carrying the same energy he'd felt on the boat, the Hunter 9 from before. Naruto turned to find them standing on the bridge railing, mask reflecting the afternoon sun. You, Naruto said, you're Zabuza's ally. I am. The voice was soft, almost gentle. But I'm not here to fight today. I wanted to see you, the boy with the unusual techniques. Why? Because Zabuza hasn't stopped talking about you, about your eyes, about the hunger for combat he saw in them. The Hunter Nine tilted their head. He says you're like him, are you? No, Naruto said firmly. I'm nothing like him. Are you sure? Because I've seen that look before in Zabuza's eyes when he finds a worthy opponent. The excitement, the anticipation, the need to test yourself against someone strong. They moved closer. You felt it too, didn't you? On the boat, when you faced him. Part of you wanted that fight to continue. Yes, that doesn't make me like him, Naruto said aloud. Wanting to fight someone strong doesn't make you a monster. No. But forgetting why you fight, forgetting everything except the combat itself, that's what makes you a monster. The Hunter Nine's voice carried weight. Zabuza forgot. He used to fight for something, for someone. Now he just fights because it's all he knows how to do. Don't make the same mistake. Who are you? Naruto asked. Really? Someone who's watched Zabuza become what he is now. Someone who's wondering if you'll walk the same path or find a different one. They turned to leave, then paused. The rematch is tomorrow, at the bridge. He'll be ready for your tricks this time. Will you be ready for his? They vanished in a swirl of mist. Naruto stood alone on the bridge, their words echoing in his head. Forgetting why you fight. Is that what happened to AKAZA? He started out fighting to protect Koyuki and Keizo, but somewhere along the way, he forgot them. Forgot everything except the combat. I can't let that happen to me. Can't forget why I'm here. Can't lose sight of what matters. Protect people. Be a hero. Stay human. That's my ninja way. He returned to Tazuna's house as the sun set, finding his team already preparing for tomorrow's inevitable battle. Tomorrow, Zabuza would come. Tomorrow, Naruto would have to prove that he could use AKAZA's power without becoming AKAZA. Tomorrow would decide everything. The morning came too soon. They left for the bridge at dawn. Team 7 and Tazuna walking through thick mist that seemed to cling to everything. The entire village felt subdued, like it was holding its breath, waiting for something terrible to happen. The bridge emerged from the fog like a ghost, half complete, workers conspicuously absent. They're not here. Tazuna's voice was tight. The workers. They should be here by now. They're scared, Kakashi said quietly. Word must have spread that Zabuza's targeting the bridge. They're protecting themselves. Bodies littered the bridge deck. No, not bodies. Workers, unconscious but breathing, slumped against support beams and scattered across the construction site. What happened to them? Sakura's voice was small. I happened. Zabuza emerged from the mist, Kubikira Bocho resting on his shoulder. The Hunter Nin stood beside him, silent and watchful. Welcome to the final battle, Zabuza said. Population, you're all about to die. The mist thickened impossibly, becoming that same supernatural fog from before, visibility dropping to inches, sound muffled, the world reduced to white emptiness. Hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza's voice echoed from everywhere. But this time, I'm ready for the blonde brat's sensing ability. Haku? Yes, Zabuza-sama. The Hunter Nin, Haku, formed hand seals. Ice release, 1,000 needles of death. The air exploded with ice needles, hundreds of them, appearing from nowhere and everywhere, forcing Team 7 to scatter. Naruto's battle compass screamed warnings as he dodged, his body moving through the barrage with AKAZA's efficiency. But the others. Sakura! Sasuke tackled her out of the path of a cluster of needles that would have turned her into a pincushion. Protect Tazuna, Kakashi ordered. Formation Delta. They moved, falling into the defensive pattern they'd practiced. Tazuna in the center, Team 7 surrounding him in a triangle, backs to each other, all angles covered. But the ice needles kept coming. And in the mist, Naruto could feel two presences now instead of one. Zabuza circling like a shark, and Haku darting between positions, never staying still long enough to predict. This is bad. Last time it was just Zabuza. Now we're outnumbered, and they know our abilities. Naruto, Kakashi's voice cut through the fog. I need positions. Where are they? Naruto focused on his battle compass, trying to track both opponents. Zabuza's moving clockwise, 20 yards out, Haku's. The ice user appeared directly behind Sasuke. Too slow, Haku said softly, and their Senbon needles drove toward Sasuke's neck. Naruto moved. His body blurred across the distance, fist already gathering that telltale shimmer. He caught Haku's wrist mid-strike, stopping the needles an inch from Sasuke's throat. Not today, Naruto growled. Haku's eyes widened behind the mask. Your speed. Naruto's other fist came up. Destructive Death, Air type. The shockwave caught Haku center mass, launching them backward into the mist. They vanished before hitting the ground using some kind of body flicker technique. "Thanks," Sasuke said, breathing hard. "We're a team, that's what." Zabuza's presence spiked behind them. Naruto spun, but too slow. The massive blade was already swinging toward Tazuna, and there was no time to block, no time to... Kakashi appeared between them, kunai catching Kubikirabocho. "Your fight is with me, Zabuza," the Jonin said, sharing and blazing. Always so noble. Zabuza's voice carried amusement. "But how long can you protect all of them? How long before you slip?" He pushed, driving Kakashi back, and suddenly teacher and enemy were locked in their own battle, disappearing into the mist, the sound of clashing metal echoing from multiple directions. Which left Team 7 alone. With Haku, the ice user appeared on a support beam above them, hands already forming seals. "I'm sorry," Haku said, and they actually sounded apologetic, "but I must protect Zabuza-sama's dream, even if it means killing children." Ice release? Crystal ice mirrors. The world exploded into ice. Mirrors formed in a circle around them, 21 perfect reflections, each one showing Haku's masked face. The ice was so clear it looked like glass, so cold that frost formed instantly on everything inside the dome. "This is my Kekkei Genkai," Haku's voice echoed from every mirror. "Inside these mirrors, I'm faster than your eyes can track. Untouchable. Unbeatable." They appeared in one mirror, then another, moving between the surfaces faster than sight could follow. Senbon needles flew from random directions, forcing Team 7 to constantly dodge. One needle found Sakura's shoulder. She cried out, dropping to one knee. Another grazed Sasuke's cheek. "We need to break the mirrors," Sasuke shouted. He threw a kunai at the nearest one. It bounced off harmlessly. "They're too strong." Then we attack Haku directly. Naruto's battle compass was going haywire. Haku's presence was everywhere and nowhere, split across 21 mirrors simultaneously. "I just need to predict which mirror they'll appear in next." He focused, trying to read the pattern. Haku appeared in the northeast mirror, then southeast, then directly above. There's no pattern. They're moving completely randomly. No, not randomly. They're responding to our positions, attacking from our blind spots. Which means I need to make them come to me. Naruto charged forward, fist raised directly toward one of the mirrors. "Naruto, what are you?" Sasuke started. "Destructive Death, Leg Type, Crown Splitter." Naruto's kick connected with the ice mirror. For a moment, nothing happened. Then cracks spread across the surface like a spiderweb, and the entire mirror shattered. Haku appeared in the space where the mirror had been, forced to manifest physically to maintain the jutsu's structure. "Now," Naruto shouted. Sasuke's hands blurred through seals. Fire style. Phoenix Flower Jutsu. But Haku was already moving, reforming the broken mirror before the flames could reach them. "Impressive," Haku said from within the mirrors. "You destroyed one, but can you destroy all 21 before I fill you with needles?" 21 mirrors. Even if I break one every few seconds, I'll run out of energy before I destroy them all. I need more power. Need to use the full extent of AKAZA's abilities. Need to. No, Naruto said aloud. I'm not doing this alone. He turned to Sasuke and Sakura. Both were bleeding from multiple needle wounds. Both looked terrified but determined. Listen, Naruto said quickly. I can sense which mirror Haku's going to appear in a split second before they do. If I call out positions, can you two attack those spots? My fire jutsu isn't fast enough, Sasuke admitted. Then use kunai, explosives, anything faster than hand seals. Naruto's mind raced. We don't need to destroy all the mirrors. We just need to force Haku to slow down, to defend instead of attack. Create enough pressure that they make a mistake. That might actually work, Sakura said. She pulled out a kunai with shaking hands. What about you? I'll break mirrors. You two keep Haku off balance. Together, we can do this. It wasn't much of a plan, but it was all they had. Northeast mirror, Naruto shouted. Sasuke threw a kunai. It struck just as Haku appeared, forcing the ice user to deflect instead of attack. Southwest. Sakura's kunai found its mark, buying another second. Above. Naruto's fist came up. Destructive Death air type. The shockwave shattered another mirror. They fell into a rhythm. Naruto calling positions and breaking mirrors. Sasuke and Sakura harassing Haku with projectiles, forcing the ice user to stay on defense. But it wasn't enough. For every mirror Naruto destroyed, Haku reformed it seconds later. The constant dodging and attacking was draining their stamina, and the needles kept coming, accumulating damage despite their best efforts. We're going to lose at this rate. I need more power. Need to. His battle compass suddenly pinged with a massive surge. Not from Haku, from outside the dome. Kakashi and Zabuza's presences had just spiked simultaneously, both of them going all out, neither holding back anymore. The real fight is happening out there, and we're stuck in here. I'm sorry, Haku said, appearing in multiple mirrors simultaneously, but this ends now. I'll make it quick. All 21 mirrors lit up with gathered chakra. Secret technique, 1,000 needles of death. Needles erupted from every mirror simultaneously, hundreds of them filling the air, impossible to dodge, all of them aimed at. Sasuke threw himself in front of Sakura and Naruto, arms spread wide. The needles hit him everywhere, chest, arms, legs, face. He stood for a moment, suspended by the sheer number of projectiles piercing his body, then collapsed. Sasuke! Sakura screamed. Naruto's world went white. Not with rage, not with Ninetales chakra, with something older. Colder. More familiar. No. I won't lose another person. I won't stand by while someone I care about dies protecting me. Not again. Never again. The memories flooded back, Keizo falling, Koyuki's cold hand, 200 years of people dying, while AKAZA grew stronger and more isolated and more monstrous. I won't become that. I won't let that happen. But I need power. Need to. Naruto's body moved without permission. He charged forward, fist raised, and this time he didn't hold back. Destructive death, annihilation type. The punch connected with the nearest mirror. The entire dome of ice exploded. The world slowed to a crawl. Shards of ice hung suspended in the air like frozen rain, catching the morning light and scattering it into 1,000 directions. Naruto could see each individual fragment, could track their trajectories, could feel the way air currents moved around them. This is it. This is what AKAZA experienced every time he fought. Perfect awareness. Perfect clarity. The world reduced to pure combat. It felt like coming home. It felt terrifying. Haku appeared in front of him, mask cracked, moving fast, but not fast enough. Naruto's newly awakened perception could track every muscle twitch, every shift in weight, every micro-expression of intent before it became action. His battle compass didn't just point to where Haku was going to be. It showed him how they would get there. Every possible attack, every potential counter. The complete map of the next 5 seconds of combat laid out in his mind like a chessboard. I can see everything, predict everything, just like AKAZA could. I'm unstoppable. The thought came with savage satisfaction that definitely wasn't his. Naruto's fist moved toward Haku's face, gathering force that would cave in bone, rupture organs, end the fight permanently. Wait. Stop. This isn't me. He pulled the punch at the last instant, redirecting it past Haku's head. The shockwave still caught the ice user's shoulder, spinning them around and sending them crashing into the bridge support. But alive. Still alive. I almost killed them. I almost murdered someone. The clarity began to fade, combat instincts retreating like a tide going out. The world returned to normal speed. Sound rushed back in, Sakura sobbing over Sasuke's body, Kakashi and Zabuza still fighting in the mist, workers beginning to stir from unconsciousness. Naruto stood frozen, staring at his fist. That was AKAZA. That wasn't me. That hunger, that satisfaction, that absolute certainty that combat was the only thing that mattered. That was him. Naruto? He turned to find Sakura looking at him with wide eyes. She knelt beside Sasuke's body, hands pressed against his wounds, trying futilely to stop the bleeding. Is he? Naruto couldn't finish the sentence. I don't know. He's not breathing. I don't know medical jutsu well enough. Her voice cracked. Naruto, I can't save him. Haku pulled themselves up from where they'd crashed, mask fallen away to reveal a face that was beautiful in an androgynous way. Soft features, dark eyes, expression painted with pain. He protected you, Haku said quietly. Threw himself in front of those needles without hesitation. That's what it means to have someone worth protecting. Shut up! Naruto's hands clenched into fists. You don't get to talk about that. You're the one who killed him. I know. Haku's voice was steady despite the blood running down their arm. I'm a tool. A weapon. This is what I was made for. You're not a tool. You're a person. Am I? Haku tilted their head. I don't have dreams. I don't have desires beyond serving Zabuza-sama. What am I if not a tool? You're... Naruto struggled to find words. You're someone who can choose. Someone who doesn't have to kill just because someone tells you to. You're... human. You're human, even if you've forgotten what that means. Just like AKAZA forgot. Just like I'm terrified of forgetting. It's too late for me, Haku said, but perhaps not for you. That power you just used, the way you moved, the clarity in your eyes, that's not normal. That's the power of someone who's fought thousands of battles, who's killed thousands of people. I haven't killed anyone. Not yet. But you wanted to, didn't you? When you charged at me, I could see it in your eyes. The same look Zabuza-sama gets when he finds a worthy opponent. The hunger. The words cut deeper than any senbon, because they were true. For those few seconds of perfect clarity, Naruto had wanted to kill Haku, not out of hatred or revenge, but because it would have been efficient, the logical conclusion to a combat problem, remove the threat permanently. That's how AKAZA thought. People became obstacles. Combat became the only truth. Everything else faded away. I'm not like that, Naruto said, but his voice shook. No, Haku agreed softly. Not yet. But every time you use that power, every time you let those instincts take over, you get a little closer to becoming like that. Until one day you wake up and realize you've forgotten everything except the fight. They stood, swaying slightly from their injuries. I need to go to Zabuza-sama. He needs me. Wait, Naruto started. But Haku was already moving, vanishing into the mist where the sound of Kakashi and Zabuza's battle continued unabated, leaving Naruto alone with Sakura and Sasuke's body. Naruto. Sakura's voice was small. Is he really dead? Naruto knelt beside his teammate, pressing his fingers against Sasuke's neck. His enhanced awareness, still partially active from the Annihilation-type technique, could feel the faintest flutter of a pulse. Barely there. Failing, but present. He's alive. Barely. Naruto's mind raced. What would AKAZA do? How did demons heal from injuries? They didn't. They just regenerated. But Sasuke's human. He can't... Wait. The needles. They're acupuncture needles. Haku's a medical specialist. They wouldn't kill with crude trauma. They'd shut down the body's systems precisely. Naruto's hands moved before his conscious mind caught up, finding the needles that had struck major meridian points. His body remembered AKAZA's perfect understanding of anatomy, of pressure points, of how to destroy a body, which meant he also understood how to preserve one. Help me, he said to Sakura. Pull out every needle except the ones I mark. Those ones are the only things keeping his heart beating right now. Are you sure? I don't wanna. Trust me. Please. Sakura hesitated, then nodded. They worked together, carefully removing needles while leaving the critical ones in place. Naruto's enhanced perception showed him exactly which ones were maintaining Sasuke's minimal life signs. After 5 minutes of careful work, Sasuke's pulse strengthened. His breathing became more regular. His eyes fluttered. Sasuke! Sakura grabbed his hand. Can you hear me? Loud, Sasuke mumbled. Too loud. He was going to live. Naruto felt something tight in his chest loosen. I saved him. Used AKAZA's knowledge to save someone instead of kill them. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's how I stay human, by using this power to protect instead of destroy. A massive surge of killing intent exploded from the mist. Naruto's battle compass screamed, Zabuza, and he was furious. The mist began to clear as Naruto ran toward the battle, leaving Sakura to watch over Sasuke. He found them near the bridge's edge. Kakashi and Zabuza locked in combat, both bleeding from multiple wounds, both pushed to their limits. But something was wrong. Zabuza's movements had changed, become more desperate, more aggressive, less controlled. Where is Haku? The missing nine roared. What did you do to him? Nothing, Kakashi said, breathing hard. His Sharingan was bleeding, overuse of the Manjikyo probably. Your apprentice is alive. Last I sensed, they were moving toward your position. Liar! Zabuza's sword came down like a falling tree. I can't feel their presence anymore. You killed them. I didn't. The ground beneath them cracked from the force of Zabuza's blow. Kakashi barely dodged, rolling away, his movements slower than before. He's exhausted, running on fumes. If Zabuza keeps this up, Haku appeared from the mist, stumbling, one arm hanging useless at their side. Zabuza-sama, they called out weakly. I'm here. Zabuza spun, and relief flooded his features. Haku, you're alive. Barely. Haku collapsed to their knees. I'm sorry, I failed you. The children, they were stronger than expected. I couldn't... It's fine. You're alive. That's all that matters. The tenderness in Zabuza's voice was jarring. This was supposed to be a demon without mercy, a killing machine who'd murdered hundreds. But the way he looked at Haku, that's love, or as close to it as someone like him can get. He fights for Haku, has someone worth protecting, even if he's forgotten how to show it properly. Just like AKAZA fought for Koyuki before he forgot her name. Zabuza, Kakashi said quietly, this doesn't have to continue. Surrender. Face justice in the hidden mist. You and Haku can... Justice? Zabuza laughed, the sound bitter. There's no justice in this world, Kakashi. Only power, only survival, and I won't let anyone take Haku from me. He raised Kubikira Bocho again, preparing for another charge, but his legs gave out. Zabuza collapsed to one knee, breathing hard, blood pooling beneath him. Too many wounds, too much chakra expenditure. Even his monstrous stamina had limits. No, he growled. Not like this. Not when I'm so close to... Slow clapping echoed across the bridge. Everyone turned. A short man stood at the bridge's entrance, flanked by dozens of thugs. Mercenaries and bandits, all armed, all looking eager for violence. The man wore an expensive suit that looked ridiculous on his squat frame, and his smile revealed gold teeth. Gato. Tazuna's voice was filled with hatred. What are you doing here? Cleaning up loose ends. Gato's smile widened. You see, Zabuza, I never intended to pay you. You were always just a tool, a way to terrorize this pathetic country. But tools that cost too much money? Tools that fail their missions? Those need to be disposed of. Zabuza's eyes narrowed. You're breaking our contract. I'm a businessman. I break contracts when they're no longer profitable. Wait, Gato gestured to his thugs. Kill them all. The ninja, the bridge builder, everyone. I'll find someone else to finish the job. The thugs charged. Zabuza tried to stand, failed. Haku pulled themselves up, formed hand seals with one working arm, but they were too injured to maintain a jutsu. Kakashi was down to maybe 10% chakra. Team 7 was scattered. Sasuke barely conscious, Sakura exhausted from stress, Naruto could fight. The hunger rose in his chest again, that terrible certainty that combat was the answer, that violence solved problems, that strength was the only currency that mattered. I could stop them all. Could use AKAZA's techniques at full power. Could be the demon everyone fears I'll become. Or, stop, the voice came from behind them. Naruto turned to find Inari standing at the bridge's midpoint, tears streaming down his face. Behind him were the workers. All of them, dozens of men and women carrying tools and makeshift weapons. You're not hurting anyone else, Inari shouted. This is our bridge, our future, and we're going to protect it. The workers charged, not with ninja speed or skill, just desperate civilians fighting for their home. It should have been a massacre. But sometimes, desperation is its own kind of strength. The workers swarmed Gato's thugs using numbers and home field advantage. They knew every inch of this bridge, knew which boards were loose, which supports would hold weight, how to use the construction equipment as weapons. Naruto, Kakashi's voice cut through the chaos. Protect Tazuna. That's still the mission. Right, the mission. Not the fight. Not the glory. Not the test of strength. The mission. Protecting someone who couldn't protect themselves. That's what makes me different from AKAZA. He forgot the mission. Forgot why he was fighting. Only remembered the combat itself. I won't make that mistake. Naruto moved to Tazuna's side, taking a defensive stance. His battle compass tracked the chaos, showing him which thugs were moving toward his client, which ones were engaged with workers, where the real threats were. One thug broke through the line, knife raised, charging directly at Tazuna. Naruto's fist moved. Destructive death, air type. The shockwave caught the thug's center mass, sending him flying back into his companions. Another 3 broke through. Naruto met them with pure taijutsu, AKAZA's techniques, but controlled, measured, non-lethal. Disable and disarm. Protect but don't kill. I can do this. I can use his power without losing myself. The battle raged for 10 minutes. When it ended, Gato's thugs were scattered, most unconscious, some fleeing, none willing to continue fighting against civilians who refused to back down. Gato himself tried to run. Zabuza appeared behind him. The missing nine's movements were slow, pained, but his intent was crystal clear. Kubikira Bocho rose one final time. Wait, Naruto called out. Don't kill him. Zabuza paused, sword hovering. Why not? He deserves it. Because you're better than that. Better than just being a tool for killing. Am I? Zabuza's voice was soft. I've killed hundreds, kid. murdered people for money, terrorized villages. What makes you think I'm better than anything? Because you care about Haku. Because when you thought they were dead, it mattered to you. That makes you human. That means you can still choose to be better. Silence. Then Zabuza lowered his sword. You're naive, kid. Stupid. Idealistic. He turned away from Gato, letting the businessman scramble away in terror. But maybe that's not the worst thing to be. He walked to where Haku had collapsed, kneeling beside them. I'm sorry, Zabuza said quietly. I made you into a tool, a weapon, when you deserve to be treated like a person. Zabuza-sama, don't. Let me finish. The missing nin's voice cracked. You were the only one who ever looked at me and saw something worth saving, and I repaid that by turning you into a killer. I'm sorry. Haku's eyes filled with tears. I chose this. I wanted to be useful to you. You were always useful, but you should have been more than that. Should have been free. Zabuza stood shakily, Kubikira Bocho serving as a crutch. Kakashi, take us in. Both of us, we surrender. Zabuza. Haku started to protest. No arguments. We're done running. He looked at Naruto. You were right, kid. I forgot why I was fighting. Forgot that there was supposed to be something beyond the combat. Maybe it's time to remember. Kakashi nodded slowly. You'll face trial in the Hidden Mist. Could be execution. I know, but at least Haku will have a chance to choose a different path. That's worth dying for. The bridge fell silent except for the sound of waves and the groans of injured thugs. Naruto stood there, fist still clenched, feeling the phantom echo of AKAZA's power coursing through him. He'd used the techniques, accessed the full extent of the demon's combat awareness, and he'd chosen to use it for protection, not destruction. I can do this. I can be both. Naruto Uzumaki and the inheritor of AKAZA's power. As long as I remember why I'm fighting. As long as I don't forget the people I'm protecting. As long as I stay human. Naruto. He turned to find Sasuke being helped to his feet by Sakura. The Uchiha looked like death warmed over, pale, shaking, covered in bandages Sakura had applied. But alive. You pulled me back, Sasuke said quietly. Used that enhanced perception to remove the right needles. How did you know which ones? AKAZA's knowledge. He understood anatomy perfectly, how to kill someone, but also how to save them. So the power can be used for good. Yeah, if I choose to use it that way. Sasuke nodded slowly. Then keep choosing that, because honestly, that power of yours scares the hell out of me. But I'd rather have it on my side than against me. It was the closest thing to approval Naruto had ever gotten from Sasuke. It felt good. The week that followed was anticlimactic after the battle. Kakashi sent word to Konoha via Messenger Hawk. Anbu arrived 3 days later to take Zabuza and Haku into custody. Both went quietly, though Zabuza made Naruto promise something first. Get stronger, kid. Strong enough that you never have to choose between power and humanity. Strong enough to protect everything you care about without losing yourself. I will, Naruto promised. And when you're strong enough, when you've mastered that demon soul inside you, come find me. I want to see what you become. Why? Zabuza smiled behind his bandages. Because I'm curious if someone can walk the path I couldn't. If someone can have power and still stay human. Prove me right, kid. Prove that it's possible. They took him away after that. The bridge was completed a week later, the workers returning in force once Gato's control was broken. Tazuna led the construction with renewed vigor, and slowly the massive structure connecting the land of waves to the mainland took shape. On the day they finished, Tazuna asked them what the bridge should be called. The Great Naruto Bridge, Inari said immediately. After the hero who saved us. I'm not a hero. Naruto protested. I just did my job as a ninja. You did more than that. Tsunami smiled warmly. You gave us hope, showed us that people could fight back, that heroes do exist. Heroes. Naruto thought about AKAZA, who'd spent 200 years being a monster before dying with regret. Thought about Zabuza, who'd forgotten his humanity until it was almost too late. Thought about the choice he made every day to use his power for protection instead of destruction. The Great Naruto Bridge sounds good, he said finally. They carved his name into the main support pillar before they left. The journey back to Konoha took 5 days. Team 7 walked in comfortable silence, each lost in their own thoughts. Sasuke was recovering well, his Uchiha constitution helping him heal faster than normal. Sakura had gained confidence from the mission, no longer the frightened girl who froze in combat. And Kakashi seemed satisfied with how they'd performed. But it was Naruto who'd changed most. He could feel it in the way his body moved. More confident, more controlled, more aware. AKAZA's techniques no longer felt foreign. They were becoming his. Integrated. Part of who Naruto Uzumaki was, not just inherited memories. I used the Annihilation type, accessed the full extent of AKAZA's combat awareness, and I pulled back from the edge. I chose to protect instead of destroy. That's what matters. That's what keeps me human. Naruto, Kakashi said as they approached Konoha's gates. You did well on this mission. Used your abilities responsibly, made the right choices when it mattered. Thanks, Sensei. But I want you to understand something. Kakashi's visible eye was serious. The more you use those techniques, the more you access that past life's power, the harder it will be to maintain your sense of self. It's like walking a tightrope. One wrong step and you could fall. I know. Do you? Because I saw your eyes during the battle. For a few seconds, you weren't Naruto Uzumaki. You were someone else. Someone who'd fought for centuries and forgotten what it meant to be anything but a warrior. The words stung because they were true. What am I supposed to do? Naruto asked quietly. Not use the power that sit inside me unused? No. Use it, but always with purpose. Always with people you're protecting in mind. The moment you start fighting just to fight, the moment combat becomes its own reward, that's when you lose yourself. Like AKAZA did. Like many powerful warriors do. Kakashi's voice softened. I've seen it happen before. People who become so consumed by their strength that they forget why they sought that strength in the first place. Don't let that be you. I won't. Good. Kakashi pulled out his book. Now let's get home. I have a report to write and you three have training to continue. This mission was C rank on paper, but Jonin level in reality. You all performed admirably, but there's still so much to learn. They passed through Konoha's gates as the sun set, painting the village in shades of orange and gold. Naruto looked up at the Hokage monument, the four faces carved into the mountain, representing the leaders who'd protected this village throughout its history. One day, I'll be up there. 5th Hokage Naruto Uzumaki. And when I am, I'll do it as myself. Not as AKAZA's reincarnation, not as the Nine Tails container, but as me. I'll protect this village without losing my humanity. That's my promise. To myself, to AKAZA's memory, to everyone who's counting on me. That's my ninja way. The village lights began to flicker on as darkness fell, each one representing a home, a family, a life worth protecting. And Naruto walked toward his empty apartment, feeling less alone than he had in years. Because now he had a team who knew his secret and accepted him anyway. Had a teacher who believed he could master his power without losing himself. Had a mission, not just to become Hokage, but to prove that even a demon's reincarnation could choose to be a hero. It was enough. For now, it was more than enough. 3 months after the Wave mission, Team 7 had settled into a new routine. Mornings were D-rank missions, still boring, still necessary, but now executed with the efficiency of a team that had faced death together and survived. Afternoons were training, Kakashi pushing them harder than before, recognizing that they'd crossed a threshold from academy students to actual ninja. And for Naruto, late nights were solo practice in the forests outside Konoha, where he could use AKAZA's techniques without witnesses. Where he could dance on that knife's edge between power and control, testing his limits while trying not to lose himself. It was working. Mostly. I haven't had the dreams in a while, Naruto thought as he walked to the mission office on a bright spring morning. The memories are still there. I can access them when I need AKAZA's knowledge, but they're not overwhelming anymore. Not taking over. Maybe Kakashi was right. Maybe I can integrate this power without losing myself. Maybe. His battle compass pinged. 3 presences approaching from behind. Jonin level, moving with purpose toward his position. Naruto spun, hand instinctively moving toward his kunai pouch. 3 ninjas stood in the street, all wearing hidden leaf headbands, all carrying themselves with the confidence of experienced combatants. The leader was tall with a cigarette dangling from his lips. Behind him, a large man snacked on chips, and beside him stood a pineapple-haired ninja who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. Naruto Uzumaki? The leader asked. That's me. Who's asking? The leader pulled out a scroll. Asuma Sarutobi, Jonin instructor of Team 10. The Hokage wants to see Team 7 immediately. Something about a recommendation. A recommendation? For what? I'll get Sasuke and Sakura. Already done. They're heading to the Hokage Tower now. Come on. They arrived at the tower to find Kakashi already there, along with Kurenai Yuhi and Might Guy, the other Jonin instructors for the rookie teams. Team 8 and Team 10 stood in neat formation, all looking curious. Ah, Team 7, Hiruzen said from behind his desk. Good, you're all here. I've called you because the Chunin exams are beginning in 2 weeks. Kakashi has recommended your team to participate. Silence. The Chunin exams? Sakura's voice went high. But we just graduated. We're not ready for... You faced an S-rank missing nun and survived, Kakashi interrupted. You're more ready than most teams who've been Genin for years. Besides, I wouldn't recommend you if I didn't think you could handle it. What exactly are these exams? Sasuke asked. His Sharingan wasn't active, but his eyes were sharp with interest. A series of tests designed to evaluate whether Genin are ready for promotion to Chunin, Hiruzen explained. They're held twice a year and are attended by Genin from all 5 great villages. It's part competition, part evaluation, and part international relations. The exams serve as a show of military strength between nations. So we'd be fighting ninja from other villages? Naruto felt something stir in his chest. That familiar hunger, carefully controlled but never fully gone. Strong opponents, real challenges, a chance to test myself against... Stop. That's AKAZA's thinking. I fight to protect, not to test myself. But maybe I can do both. The exams are voluntary, Hiruzen continued. If you don't feel ready, you can wait until the next session. There's no shame in that. I'm in, Sasuke said immediately. Me too, Sakura added, though her voice shook slightly. All eyes turned to Naruto. I could say no, could wait until I'm more sure I can control AKAZA's instincts, until the risk of losing myself to combat lust is lower. Or I could prove that I can handle it, that I'm not just a container for a dead demon's power, I'm a ninja who can use that power responsibly. I'm in, Naruto said. Believe it. Hiruzen nodded. Very well, registration is in 1 week. Prepare yourselves. These exams will push you harder than anything you've faced before. They filed out of the tower, Team 7 walking together in tense silence. So, Sakura said finally, the Chunin exams, this is really happening. You scared? Naruto asked. Terrified, but also excited? Is that weird? No, Sasuke said quietly. It's normal. Fear and excitement are the same adrenaline response. The difference is whether you run from it or toward it. They reached the training ground where they'd first passed Kakashi's bell test. A lifetime ago, it felt like, though it had only been 4 months. Listen, Kakashi said, pulling out 3 forms. These are the registration papers. Read them carefully. The Chunin exams have a significant mortality rate. Usually about 10% of participants die during the tests. If you're not absolutely certain you want to do this, don't sign. The number hit like a physical blow. 1 in 10 don't come home. Once you sign, Kakashi continued, you're committed. You'll face opponents from elite villages. Sand, stone, cloud, mist. Many of them older, more experienced, with bloodline abilities and techniques you've never seen before. Some will try to kill you because that's their village's culture. Some will try to kill you because it's easier than capturing you. And some will try to kill you just because they can. He handed each of them a form. Take these home. Think about it. Really think about it. Then meet here in 1 week with your decision. He vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving Team 7 alone. Naruto spent the week training harder than ever. Not just physical training, though he pushed his body through exercises that would have broken him before AKAZA's memories awakened. But mental training too. Meditation, centering exercises, anything to strengthen his sense of self so he wouldn't lose it under the pressure of combat, because he knew what was coming. The Chunin exams would pit him against strong opponents, opponents that would make AKAZA's instincts scream for release. That would test whether he could fight at full power without losing himself to the hunger for combat. I have to be ready. Have to prove I can do this. On the 5th night, he visited Ichiraku Ramen, his sanctuary when the world got too complicated. Naruto, Toichi greeted him warmly. Haven't seen you in a while? The usual? Extra large miso, please? I need comfort food. Tough week? You could say that. Naruto stared at the registration form on the counter, still unsigned. Hey, Tucci-san, do you ever worry about becoming something you're not? Like using abilities that aren't really yours? Tucci paused in his cooking. That's a heavy question for a 12-year-old. What brought this on? I've got access to skills I didn't earn, techniques from someone else, and I'm worried that using them will change who I am, make me into someone I don't want to be. Tucci returned to his cooking, but his voice was thoughtful. My father taught me to make ramen. Everything I know about cooking came from him. Does that mean I'm just copying him? That I'm not a real chef? That's different. Is it? I use his techniques, his recipes, his knowledge, but I'm still me, still Tucci, not my father, because I choose what to do with those skills. He slid the ramen across the counter. Skills are just tools, Naruto. What matters is what you build with them. The words settled over Naruto like warm broth. Skills are just tools. What matters is what I build with them. AKAZA built a legacy of murder, but I can build something different. Use the same techniques for protection instead of destruction. I just have to keep choosing that. Every single time. He signed the form while eating his ramen. 1 week later, Team 7 stood outside the academy building where registration was being held. All 3 of them had signed. Room 301, Kakashi instructed. 3rd floor. You'll turn in your forms there, and they'll explain the first test. Good luck, and remember, you're representing Konoha. Don't embarrass me. Or what? Naruto challenged. Or I'll make you retake the bell test. Every day. For a month. We'll make you proud, Sensei. They entered the academy, climbing stairs packed with ninja from a dozen different villages. Naruto's battle compass went haywire. Dozens of presences, many of them strong, all of them radiating varying levels of confidence and killing intent. This is it. This is real. They reached the 3rd floor to find a crowd gathered outside room 301. Except Naruto's enhanced perception immediately caught the discrepancy. We're only on the 2nd floor. This is a genjutsu. Before he could say anything, a voice cut through the crowd. Please, let us through. We need to register. 2 younger ninja were trying to push past guards who were clearly testing them. Rock Lee, if Naruto remembered correctly, bushy eyebrows, bowl-cut orange leg warmers. And beside him, Tenten, a weapons specialist. One of the guards threw a punch at Lee. The younger ninja dodged easily, but his teammate didn't. That's enough. Sasuke's voice was cold. This isn't room 301. We're still on the 2nd floor. You're using a genjutsu to weed out the weak. The guard smiled. Smart, one of them said. The genjutsu dissolved, revealing 201 instead of 301. Most genin don't even notice. You can pass. The crowd surged forward. Lee appeared beside Sasuke suddenly, his presence, despite being a genin, carrying surprising weight. You saw through the illusion immediately. Impressive. My name is Rock Lee. I challenge you to a fight. Not interested, Sasuke said flatly. Then you. Lee turned to Naruto. You carry yourself like a warrior. I can sense your power. Fight me. Naruto's battle compass pinged. Lee's presence was strange. No chakra network that he could detect, but incredible physical energy. Pure taijutsu specialist. And despite being a genin, his fighting spirit burned bright enough to rival some chunin. He's strong. Would be a good fight. A real test of my techniques against pure taijutsu. Stop. Not now. Not here. I'm here for the exams, not to satisfy AKAZA's hunger for combat. Maybe later, Naruto said, after the exams start. Lee's eyes lit up. A promise, I will hold you to it. They made it to the real 3rd floor without further incident, finding room 301 packed with genin from every village. The air was thick with tension. Everyone evaluating everyone else, sizing up potential opponents, radiating barely controlled aggression. Naruto's compass was screaming with so many presences it was almost overwhelming. And then he felt it. 3 presences that stood out from the crowd like bonfires in darkness. One was a redhead from Sand Village, his presence carrying something wrong, hollow and hungry and ancient. The Jinchuriki aura was unmistakable to someone who carried one himself. Another was a pale boy from Sound Village, his presence cold and serpentine and distinctly predatory. The third, well, a lazy voice drawled. If it isn't the dead last of our graduating class. Naruto turned to find Shikamaru and the rest of the Konoha rookies. All 9 of them had registered for the exams. Shikamaru, Choji, Ino, Naruto grinned. You guys are here too. Unfortunately, Shikamaru yawned. Ino insisted we sign up, something about not wanting to be left behind while you got all the glory. I never said that, Ino protested. You said exactly that. Well, maybe, but... Quiet down, a voice cut through the chatter like a knife. A scarred Chunin stood at the front of the room, Ibiki Morino according to his name tag. His presence radiated cold professionalism and barely restrained violence. Welcome to the Chunin exams. First test starts now. Find your assigned seat numbers. The next hour was brutal. A written test with questions so difficult they were clearly designed to be impossible. Naruto stared at the paper, his enhanced perception allowing him to see other students cheating in increasingly creative ways. This isn't about knowing the answers. It's about gathering intelligence without getting caught. But I don't need to cheat. AKAZA's memories include education. He lived for 200 years, learned multiple languages, studied anatomy and physics and combat theory. The answers are in my head. I just need to remember them. He finished the test in 20 minutes, then spent the remaining time watching other students attempt to cheat. Some succeeded. Many didn't, each failure resulting in immediate expulsion along with their entire team. The 10th question came with a choice. Anyone who doesn't want to answer question 10 can leave now, Ibiki announced. But if you stay and answer wrong, you're banned from ever taking the Chunin exams again. Hands started raising across the room, teams walking out. The pressure mounting. This is a psychological test. He's measuring our resolve. Our willingness to risk everything for the chance to advance. AKAZA never backed down from a challenge, never retreated from a fight, no matter the odds. But I'm not AKAZA. I need to think this through logically. I'm not backing down, Naruto said aloud. I don't care if I'm stuck as a genin forever. I'm not running away. The words came from his gut, not his head. Pure Naruto, not influenced by AKAZA's memories at all. Ibiki smiled. Good. You all pass. Anyone who raised their hand failed. A Chunin needs the courage to face the unknown. Congratulations on completing the first test. The second test took place in the Forest of Death, a massive training ground filled with dangerous wildlife, hidden traps, and 44 teams of genin, all competing for 26 scrolls. Survival exercise, their proctor, Anko Mitarashi, explained with disturbing enthusiasm. Each team gets either a heaven or earth scroll. You need to acquire the opposite scroll and reach the tower in the center within 5 days. Any questions? What if someone dies? A nervous genin asked. Then they die. Anko's smile was sharp. Sign the waiver and get your scroll. Good luck not becoming monster food. Team 7 received an earth scroll. They entered the forest as a unit, moving cautiously through dense undergrowth and oppressive heat. Naruto's battle compass pinged constantly, presences scattered throughout the forest, some moving, some lying in ambush. Contact, Naruto whispered. 3 enemies ahead, 50 yards, setting a trap. Rain Village, Sasuke said, sharing an active. I can see their camouflage jutsu. They think they're hidden. How do we handle this? Sakura asked. Before anyone could answer, Naruto's compass exploded with sensation. A massive presence had just entered the forest. Not just strong, overwhelming, ancient, carrying killing intent so refined and focused it felt like a blade pressed against his consciousness. What is that? That's not a genin. That's not even a jonin. That's... A figure appeared in the clearing ahead, dropping from the canopy with inhuman grace. Pale skin, yellow eyes with slit pupils, long black hair and an aura that made Naruto's instincts scream to run, to fight, to do something, because this was danger on a level he'd never felt before. Well, the figure said in a voice that sounded wrong. Too smooth, too old for the young face wearing it. What interesting prey I've found. The presence intensified. Naruto's vision went white, and suddenly he wasn't in the Forest of Death anymore. He was in rain, in snow. Facing an opponent whose presence felt similar to this, ancient, powerful, inhuman. Muzan Kibutsuji, the Demon King. The monster who created AKAZA, who held his leash for 2 centuries, who AKAZA both feared and hated in equal measure. The memory was so vivid, so overwhelming, that for a moment Naruto forgot who he was. Forgot he was a 12-year-old genin in an exam. Became, for just an instant, the demon who'd spent 200 years under the thumb of something more powerful and cruel than himself. The fear was paralyzing. And the figure in front of him, this pale ninja with snake eyes, felt exactly the same. Naruto! Sakura's voice cut through the memory. Snap out of it! He blinked, returning to reality. The figure was smiling now. Fascinating. Such raw fear in your eyes. What did you see, little ninja? What past are you carrying? Who are you? Sasuke had moved protectively in front of the team, sharing and blazing. Orochimaru, the figure said, and the name carried weight that made the forest itself seem to hold its breath. One of the legendary Sannin, and I'm very interested in all three of you, but especially you, Uchiha Sasuke. He vanished, reappeared behind Sasuke. Your eyes, Orochimaru whispered, they'll be mine. His hand moved toward Sasuke's neck. Naruto's body reacted on instinct. Destructive death, air type. The shockwave caught Orochimaru mid-lunge, forcing him to abandon the attack and dodge. He reappeared 20 feet away, looking genuinely surprised. That technique, Orochimaru's eyes gleamed. Not chakra-based, pure physical manipulation. Where did you learn that? None of your business. Naruto shifted into a ready stance, but his hands were shaking. Not from fear, from rage. Because Orochimaru's presence felt like Muzan's. Like a master who saw people as tools, as toys, as things to be used and discarded when they broke. And AKAZA's memories carried 200 years of hatred for that kind of power. I won't let you touch my teammates. I won't let you turn them into weapons like Muzan did to me. Interesting, Orochimaru said. Such hatred in your eyes. Such power barely restrained. You're almost as fascinating as the Uchiha. He formed hand seals. Snakes erupted from his sleeves, dozens of them, all moving with unnatural speed. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura scattered, but the snakes were relentless, pursuing, binding, constricting. One caught Sasuke's arm. Orochimaru appeared beside him. Now then, Sasuke-kun, this will only hurt for a moment. His neck extended impossibly, jaw unhinging, fangs bared. Naruto moved faster than thought. His fist drove into Orochimaru's temple with all of AKAZA's 200 years of combat experience behind it. The Sannin's head snapped to the side from the impact, and for a split second, Naruto saw something flicker in those yellow eyes. Pain. Surprise. Respect. Destructive death. Annihilation type. The follow-up punch connected with Orochimaru's chest, and the shockwave sent the Sannin flying backward through 3 trees before he caught himself. Silence. Orochimaru stood slowly, wiping blood from his lip. That actually hurt. When was the last time a genin made me bleed? He smiled wider. You're definitely coming with me. His presence intensified to crushing levels, killing intent so pure and focused that it felt like gravity had tripled. Sakura collapsed to her knees. Sasuke staggered. Even Naruto, with all his experience, felt his legs wanting to buckle. This is it. This is what Muzan felt like when AKAZA displeased him. Overwhelming power. Absolute control. The certainty that resistance was futile. But I'm not AKAZA anymore. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. And I don't kneel to monsters. He stood. Legs shaking, hands clenched into fists, every instinct screaming to run or submit or die, but he stood. I won't let you hurt them, Naruto said. His voice didn't shake. I'll die first. Orochimaru's expression shifted, surprise giving way to something that might have been admiration. Magnificent, he whispered. Truly magnificent. To stand under my killing intent with such resolve, you're wasted as a Konoha ninja. He lowered the pressure slightly. But I'm not here to kill you. Not yet. First, I want to see what you become. His neck extended again, but this time toward Sasuke, and bit down before Naruto could intercept. Sasuke screamed. A mark spread across his neck, 3 tomoe in a circular pattern, black as ink, pulsing with malevolent chakra. A gift, Orochimaru said as he retreated. The cursed seal. It will make you stronger, Sasuke, strong enough to avenge your clan, strong enough to matter. Come find me when you're ready to claim real power. He vanished into the trees, his presence fading slowly. Leaving Team 7 alone in the clearing with Sasuke writhing in pain and a mark on his neck that radiated corruption. Sasuke! Sakura rushed to him. Are you okay? What did he do? Cursed. Seal. Sasuke gasped out, can feel it, trying to take over. The mark pulsed, spreading across his body like fire. Naruto knelt beside him, mind racing. I need to do something. Need to. Wait. Orochimaru's seal. It's using chakra to corrupt Sasuke's system. But I can. His hand pressed against the mark. Destructive death, disorder. The technique that let him read fighting spirit, that let him sense chakra patterns and predict movements, now extended deeper. He could feel the seal's structure, the way it was weaving itself into Sasuke's chakra network. I can't remove it, but I can disrupt it, slow it down. Naruto focused, using AKAZA's perfect control to inject small amounts of physical force directly into the seal's chakra structure. Not enough to damage Sasuke, but enough to interrupt the takeover. The mark's spread slowed, stopped, retreated slightly. Sasuke's breathing eased. "Naruto?" he gasped. "What did you... Bought us time. The seal's still there, but it's dormant now. We need to get you to the tower, to proper medical ninja who can actually deal with this." "Can you walk?" Sakura asked. "I think so." They helped Sasuke to his feet. And Naruto felt something settle in his chest, a strange certainty that everything had just changed. That the Chunin exams had stopped being a test and become something far more dangerous. Because Orochimaru had seen him. Had recognized something in Naruto that even Naruto didn't fully understand yet. He knew. Somehow he knew about AKAZA's power. About the techniques that shouldn't exist in this world. What does he want with me? With us? The questions would have to wait. Right now, survival was the only priority. They moved through the forest, Team 7 together, heading toward the tower, while Naruto's battle compass screamed warnings about the dozens of predators, human and animal, that inhabited this deadly place. The second test had barely begun. And Naruto had a sinking feeling that the worst was yet to come.